Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blind Wave Podcast. Hopefully everyone's doing well this lovely Thursday live at twitch.tv/blindwave, or if you're watching it on YouTube.
Yep. Were we muted until you started talking?
Later on.
Yes, of course.
That's a secret. You guys are always muted.
No! But they still can hear Calvin somehow.
Somehow.
Because I reached through the insulator of air and I speak into his mic with a loud voice.
Yep. Was the best thing of your week, everybody.
That's pretty good. We should let Shane have, since he missed last week, we talked about WaveCon, if he had anything unique to say about WaveCon.
Nope.
One of my favorite things about WaveCon was actually getting together with a bunch of people who had, I wasn't sure this many people wanted to play, was play some basketball with a lot of cool, fun people, and it was a hard play.
Yeah.
Because we were down there, I'm like, I play serious, and Bigfoot's like, so do I.
Well, I mean, you guys sparred serious last year, right? And you broke a rib.
Yeah.
Did you break anything this year?
No, I almost broke my knees. They're still hurting a little bit.
Your pride?
No. No, it was all pretty close, pretty good games. Yeah, I mean, so
how long did you play?
3 hours,
Okay.
like 2 or 3, because I mean that was Thursday, so I woke up, had putt with which you came.
I did.
Then we had
one. No, I just beat you. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, you did beat me.
You were talking some hard talk in the beginning.
It's because I was doing some good trick shots. That's why.
Yeah, oh, okay. I forgot.
But then what was it? 10 and 11? No, it was 14 and 15 screwed me.
Yeah.
Or I screwed myself.
Yeah.
And then we went to Cone and Shake, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I had a hot dog and a banana split.
Ooh, is that?
And I got there first too, because like I knew like that place
got
was like.
into this place. Eric was in line in front of a bunch of people who weren't Wave Riders.
Yep.
Like he got there, was like, "Fuck it."
Well, as soon as we left, I'm like, all right, I know what Cone and Shake is like. I know it takes a bit sometimes. I know there's gonna be like 30 people showing up, so I went the back way and stuff because people are trying to find it driving there. You know, they don't know Marietta very well.
Wait, so you rushed there so you could get your food first before all of the friends and fans that came to see you?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
He has
They could have rushed.
He has a very singular.
Did you
Mine.
hurry up and eat and then leave?
No. I just ate in front of them while they were all waiting.
He did. But he also socialized, which was cool.
I did do that.
And can I be heard very well?
What's that?
Can I be heard very well?
You can be.
Yes, we can hear you
very
just fine.
well.
Okay,
You haven't
good.
changed, Shane.
Okay, good. Anyways, and then we just all went and played basketball.
Yeah.
And we did that forever. And I thought I had plenty of time to get ready and come here because I was staying here. But I didn't have any time because my son wrecked his bike. I had to go to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And I was doing that the whole time. So Thursday, I was completely just packed.
Yeah.
And then Eric had to pick me up in the hospital.
I did.
And I was
remember
walking
being
down
like, hey, are you back for we got to start doing these tours? And you were like, I'm at the hospital. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, I need someone to come get me. I'm like, I will come get you right now.
Yeah.
And you actually started walking.
I started walking down.
You started walking so much that I missed you when I got to the hospital. I'm like, where the hell is he? He's not here.
Yeah, and you picked me up in your.
My new car.
Yeah, okay,
I talked about that last time.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got in, you're like,
I'm so,
well, nice new
the,
car. Oh, I'm so sweaty. I'm like, God damn it.
well, because like I balled out,
Yeah,
against a bunch of people. We were playing hard, and then I had to go do that. And I was in this emergency room, and I was telling people, I'm a YouTuber. I gotta go. You know what I mean? And they're like, you can't leave your son here. And I'm like, I got to. But not really. My
Gotta
cousin
make YouTube videos.
My cousin Jamie, who was in town, and a couple friends, they came actually, and they stayed with them. And the hospital allowed me to go, so I can come back and hang out with all the cool people that were here, who were fans, and so thankful for them to be here.
How do you wreck his bike?
Well, they were on there's 2 bikes, and there's how kids put pegs on the back if they do tricks.
I do know the street kids.
Well, he was just jumping off. They were like riding down the hill, just practicing jumping from one side to the other.
Yeah.
And then he screwed up, fell, and just sliced the back of his leg.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I didn't step on the tire, and then it like pulled his leg forward, and then it slid down the end of the peg.
He didn't describe it to me.
I never had pegs.
I've seen that happen.
I never had someone to ride with.
Most of mine were all like mountain bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would like, the thing I would do that was the most dangerous is just I'd try to go as fast as I could and take these turns that maybe I could, maybe I couldn't take, and I'd spin my back like, like drift with my bike and stuff.
I can like remember like my mother warning me away from those boys with the pegs on their bikes. Like they went like quick getaways.
All the mongoose bikes and shit. All those kids.
Yeah. I would like take like sometimes when we were going to my grandmother's in Williamstown, would load up my bike in the back of the car, so that I could ride around with my cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, that's ridiculous. They're not bad or anything.
Like those BMX
And those
riders.
kids were bad. You know what they would do? There's like a car lot over there at Williamstown.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would go over there and sneak around and take the metal shiny air plugs off of the wheels and put them on their bikes.
Yeah.
So they had these really nice shiny like air caps. I remember being like, this is illegal.
Valve stem covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you got a couple extra, I guess I'll put them on mine.
I never tried.
Dang, Eric.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
tried that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, that happened. No, that happened. I just don't know any names.
The
And
worst-
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
The worst accident I remember on my bike was just I was racing around my house and my dog started chasing me.
Yeah.
And then he like ran in front of me at one point and I was positive I was gonna hit him, but I wasn't even on my bike. I was riding my sister's bike at the time.
Yeah.
I forget why. But I went to hit the brakes, and on my bike, my back brake worked really well. My front brake was kind of like wonky.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it did that thing. Like you push it, just kind of like,
And it
but it didn't
skips.
stop anything.
It didn't
But the other
stop.
one, like the back wheel would be like, boom, and it
Sure.
would stop.
Yeah.
My sister's bike is the reverse.
Her front brakes worked really
So
well.
I was like going as fast as I could. My dog ran in front of me. I slammed both brakes like I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind, and that front wheel just
Stops.
stopped.
Yeah,
and
I
I
get ya.
flipped over, like over my dog, and the bike landed on top of me, and I just landed on my back, and I was like, oh, it
Yeah.
hurt so
That was
bad.
always the worst feeling when you were going forward and you know, like, I'm definitely going to hit my face on here because I'm not letting go. My legs are tied up in the pedals now, so I'm going to hit my face and the thing's going to come on top of me, and I'm going to,
And hit me in my ass.
I'm going to what do they call it? Like,
Scorpion.
scorpion myself.
Yeah.
I saw this kid. He was going down Washington Street, and he flipped forward,
Yeah.
and then he fucking put his hands out, and the bike flipped, and then he landed fine, but then he wiped out like after he landed though.
Yeah.
It's like he did like a
He did
flip.
like a
he did like
front
a, he did like
handspring
a
off a
front-
bike?
Yeah, he did like a front flip basically,
Yeah.
That's
and then
cool.
somehow I was like, holy shit! Oh
Yeah.
fuck! And then he actually
and
hurt
he
himself.
crashed, and like, damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, any other highlights of WaveCon for you? I mean, the whole WaveCon.
The whole thing was
but-
was amazing. Playing a lot of Super Smash Bros. Oh, because one thing that was funny is Eric, when he picked me up, I was so defeated because I was like tired. I knew I had to
Yeah.
get back and change. I was all sweaty.
Yeah.
But we went to Cone and Shake before that. Eric was like, by the way, I got this new car. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And then Crusader went right up. He's like, is this Eric's new car? I went, fuck no. I just like, fuck
Well,
no.
I wanted
man.
to save it as like a podcast story.
Yeah,
or
I was
something,
like, fuck no, it's not, kid. You know what I mean?
And I wanted to focus on people there in WaveCon and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I was like, but I pulled up and it was like right there, and I'm like, by the way, it's mine.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very nice.
I noticed it immediately,
Yeah.
and I said
I figured.
nothing.
Yeah. Good
I
job,
noticed
Calvin.
nothing. It wasn't a board game.
Rick didn't leave. He didn't go outside.
I
the
noticed
board game.
nothing. I didn't like it.
I hated it.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Anything from this past week for you guys? I mean, I liked something we did on the channel recently, which was just kind of doing these like kind of random discussion videos. Put two up the other day.
That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We can finally start talking about WWE news.
Alrighty.
Well,
AEW.
about that.
No, that's fine. I like when Rick talks about it. He makes it interesting.
I like when Rick tells the interesting
Yeah.
stories.
Me too.
I like the.
That I didn't have to
interesting
watch
stories
all the
as
rest
well,
of the stuff to get through to hear
Yeah.
the good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, when me and Rick were coming back from Columbus one time, he just put on a wrestling podcast and we listened to it. That was great. Just
Mhm.
hearing it's like a compilation of the great stories and
Yeah.
shit through the years.
Yeah, like I hear Stone Cold has like the best podcast for that or
See-
something, right?
Like that kind of
there's a
stuff's
lot
great.
of good ones out
Yeah.
there.
But like, all the times that Rick has given up on wrestling.
Yeah.
Like he's not telling us about what happened during those times because he's like, I gave up on wrestling.
Sure.
But I
Yeah.
came back because this stuff was great.
Yeah.
Like.
But
Those are
the
great
thing is,
stories.
even if I'm not watching, the 8 hours a week that WWE puts out there, I'm still keeping up with everything.
Only 8 hours a week.
I'm like that with sports.
8 hours.
8
8
hours
hours
a week.
for a network is a good bit.
It's a couple networks, right?
Well, I mean, they do more than that,
Just-
but like the actual wrestling stuff, there's 3 hours of Raw, there's 2 hours of SmackDown, there's 2 hours of NXT, and then I think there's 1 hour of 205 Live.
I mean,
I remember like
not to toot our own horn, but that's nothing.
Yeah. Right.
They have quite a bit more preparation involved
Yeah, I
in an
know.
actual television
I'm
network.
just joking.
I think it was my fourth grade year, maybe fifth grade. I think it was fourth grade year when wrestling was the biggest thing ever, and I had a DDP shirt that it's like I got from like winning something like on television. Like I
Like
put
you
myself
were
in a
the caller?
sweepstakes and like 100 people got this shirt. Yeah, and I got that, and like all the other kids were like, oh, that shirt is so cool. So anytime I would wear it like to school, I'd be at the bus stop, and the bus would come around the corner and down the hill, and like they'd see me wearing this shirt, and kids like would be out the window going like, ah. Like thinking back, it's so stupid to think about, but it's actually kind of fun too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because like everybody like at school was talking about wrestling. Then it was Golden Day.
It
I mean, that
Golden
was a
times.
Golden Day.
That was the Monday Night Wars. Now, Eric, we
Yeah.
have the Wednesday Night Wars.
Oh my God!
Because it was announced that AEW was going to come on
Yep.
TNT on Wednesdays.
Yep.
Vince McMahon did not like this
Oh, no.
and decided to move NXT off the WWE Network onto
Yeah.
USA a month before
Yeah.
AEW arrives.
Holy shit!
To come back with
That is a
AEW. Huh?
war.
When I hear about some of that stuff and some like the terrible like things he does to his contract, I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's funny when the guys like retire and they tell the stories. Like, yeah, he was like this, but they're pretty good sports about it.
He's
Yeah.
one of a kind.
Yeah,
He's made a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah.
he has. Yeah. It's like,
Especially himself.
I saw.
well, my cousin is watching the Headless Gamer. Shout out to him for also going to the hospital with my son.
yeah.
You know, because he was going to come to all that. He's going to go to the townhouse, and he had to stay with my son pretty
Yeah.
much the whole time. He also going to his house younger. He's the one who his whole family had the wrestling influence on me.
Yeah.
So during the Attitude Era, that's when I used to go there all the time. And my cousin Jamie and then Josh and Jared, who was a little closer to my age, they were obsessed with it. They were always.
Yeah.
And they were all like they fought all the time, and they would always do wrestling moves like fucking Stone Cold Stunners to each other, choke slams. I remember Josh getting mad at me. I was a little kid and just choke slamming me because I was beating him on Ready to Rumble boxing.
Yeah.
And then Jamie, who's watching right now, he would slam the controller at the console or the TV, and he'd be like, "You're fucking cheating. There's no one who's this good." So he'd be like watching my hands like this. He's like, he's pressing buttons. He's pressing different kind of buttons. And then Josh like choke slamming me. Yeah, man. What's that?
Nothing. I was just giving a
I
secret.
told you about the
handshake
time
to
I gave
Calvin.
someone a choke slam, right?
What's that?
I know the story.
It was my birthday party, and this kid who lived kind of close rode his bike over, who I never really liked. I'm pretty sure it was my birthday party because there was a bunch of friends over, and there were these like sour apple trees at the top of our parents' yard.
Yeah.
He took one of those apples, and he threw it, and he hit me in the back of the head. I choke slammed him on our gravel. I threw his bike in the woods.
That's so funny.
That is pretty funny. There was this kid who was making fun of us at Washington School playground. So I took his bike, I threw it in the dumpster, and then him and his older brother, these West Side kids who used to fight people, they wouldn't jump Jordan Stryker because they thought he was me.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When we were younger, everyone thought we were brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really look alike now. The roller,
No.
but they just jumped him.
Yeah.
Like, you threw my brother's bike. He's like, no, I didn't.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Poor Jordan.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right. Well, you guys have anything else for the week?
I had two things that I
Yeah.
thought were fun. One was a thing that I retweeted. Yeah, someone keeps vibrating.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
I think it might be me.
It's not me.
I just
I
thought
thought
it
it was you.
I just thought it was funny because this guy like he had this bot watch 1,000 hours of Batman and then write a script like for a Batman movie.
Yeah, I saw
I
this.
saw that.
Did you read the script?
I
No.
did. Yeah.
Like it was so ridiculous, but it was like as close as you could get without being exactly right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if he really did this. I believe that if you had something that had no idea what anything was,
Yeah.
and all it did was learn from watching Batman what reality is, and then make one of
Yeah.
those. I suppose that's what you could get.
Yeah, I it's kind of like a meme format that I've seen other people do for other things, and so I'm sometimes like I have a conspiracy theory of like I think they might just be writing it to be funny,
Right.
Sure.
versus they actually did that. Though
Yeah.
the original person that actually did that actually happened. You know?
Like the script of like Batman. This is now a safe city. I have punched a penguin into prison. Alfred, Batman's loyal battler, carries a tray of goth ham.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Eat a dinner, mattress Wayne.
Yes.
And then they just have things like, no, it's Two-Face and One-Face. They
Yeah.
hate me for being a bat. Like there's just like
Yeah.
the lines and stuff they had. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, I took it as closer to like a satire
Yeah.
thing they kind of made up to be funny. You know?
Whenever I was doing it, I'm like, I love the script. I think it's funny.
Sure.
I'm really curious if it really was like a bot that you
Yeah.
had, or if it was like, well, let me write
Yeah.
a funny script and say it was a bot, you know?
Is it long?
But
Well, it's
Um,
based off of like somebody that put like 100,000 books into a bot and had them start writing their own book. I think is the original thing, and it had stuff like that where it's like it's close, but it's like an uncanny valley version of reading.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if an alien understood what words were and how to put them in a sentence,
Yeah.
but had no idea what they were.
Doesn't really know the context of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just, I like the idea and the concept, and I wonder if it was real. But they gave like the first 2 pages of the script.
Yeah.
There's some funny little things in there, like the goth ham and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it's fun.
Yeah.
My favorite thing of the week, and it's one of those things that I'm almost ashamed to admit I have done, but I've been playing through Dragon Quest XI, trying to 100% all the quests in the game,
Okay.
like all the side quests. And one of the side quests in that game is you go to the casino, and a guy at the casino says, "Hey, I will give you this if you can get a jackpot on roulette." And so to get the jackpot on roulette, you not only have to win at roulette, but on the jackpot wheel, like it has all the numbers obviously, but at the top where like, so at the top of it, it says like jackpot here, right? So you have to get the correct number, and that correct number, the wheel has to land at that spot. So the ball has to land in the number, and the thing has to land in the spot, basically, in order to get the jackpot. And so I was reading online, trying to figure out all these ways to do it, and it was mainly just like hocus pocus. Everyone had their own method, you know, when they did it.
Sure.
Like
And
this
it
guy
just
was
happened
like,
to work out.
Just bet on everything, and you'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
And this guy was like 12 and 15 is the numbers
It's
you need to
more
bet on.
likely
You'll get
to
it
do it there.
eventually.
Yeah.
And like everyone had all these different methods. I was doing this thing over 2 days for like 8 hours, trying to get this, and I finally did,
Yeah. All right.
and I'm happy.
So
What
do you
was
think it
your
was just
method?
coincidence?
Well, no. So I didn't use anyone's methods. Basically, I looked at the numbers that were coming up the most frequently, and eventually I just was betting on whatever was hitting the most.
Yeah.
And eventually I got it, and
Yeah.
It's like if you-
it was amazing. And I took a picture.
Yeah.
was it 12?
Huh?
Was it 12
I'll
or
look.
13? What was it?
I'll look.
What was it to the guy?
I don't remember the number.
I would have bet on 3 or 8.
It took a long time, but I got it.
Rick, I think you showed me this picture. I did not understand what I was looking at.
I was listening to just podcasts while I was doing it. It landed on Black 31.
31.
Yep, Black
Nice.
31 is what hit. And I was betting on 30, 31, and 32 because those numbers kept coming up.
That
Yeah.
3 area
Yeah.
right there.
Oh, that's interesting. The first time I ever won in an actual casino, it was video roulette, but it was a 31 black.
Okay,
So that is cool.
cool stuff. So I won like 1,000,000 credits. I got the achievement, and he gives me a vest for success, which greatly increases the drop rate of enemies in the game.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So like they'll be more likely to give you items when you defeat them.
Nice.
So it's basically you grind and then have a chance to get more.
So you
or
grind
better
in
gear.
roulette so you can grind less outside.
Yeah.
JRPGs, yo.
I guess.
That's how they
That's
work.
cool though.
He's going to somehow bring
I like
this
it.
up with that WoW argument. You know that, right? Yeah.
Speaking of WoW, one of my favorite things too. I didn't get to talk about it last week because technically it was like a week ago, but I got to do my first time tanking a whole raid, which was really cool.
An
So-
entire raid?
Yeah, so like it's a minimum of 10 people in BFA right now, and
I don't know what that means.
it's Battle for Azeroth is the
Okay.
expansion.
Gotcha.
It's like WoW, World of Warcraft. But I'm usually 100 DPS in our raid group, and I've been trying to make a tank to be able to do more like dungeons and stuff like that to help with people. And our tank was away, and they needed a tank, and I was like, hey, I was wanting to take my tank through anyway for normals just to get more gear on it because I'm not getting anything on my hunter. So I got to play through, and when we first went in, we took out the first boss, and after we started the boss, they were like, hey, this isn't normal, this is heroic, which is the next step up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. So we're fighting this boss, and we downed it in the first try.
Okay.
And then they were like, well, good to know Aaron's tank can handle a heroic boss. Let's go to normal. And then we
nice.
went back to normal.
Yeah.
We cleared the whole, there's like 8 bosses in there. We cleared them all that night with my tank and
Okay.
the other guy's tank. So it's like a 2-man trade-off thing.
See, I
So-
never played a game like that. I mean, I played Star Wars: Old Republic a little bit, but I never played a game like that where I've heard of people saying like, "Oh man, I put so much time into it, I gotta stop playing."
Yeah.
So like, how many hours a week do you think that you play?
A
WoW?
week. I usually at least do the raids, which is 3 nights a week from usually about 9 to 1. I
Jesus.
usually
4
get on
hours.
around 9.
So
We
about-
start at 10 and we go to 1.
Okay, so like 12 hours.
So
12 hours a
I
week.
do that, and then I put in some other random times
Sure.
throughout for
Yeah.
like getting gold or whatever else. Because
Just-
whenever you
just
do it,
grinding by yourself.
you got to
basically.
repair or doing some quests or maybe doing other mythic dungeons and
Yeah.
stuff too. So I mean, it could maybe be. Usually it's like 9 o'clock-ish or so. Usually
Sure.
Melly and I hop on after we put the kids to bed, and then
Yeah.
I might play till like midnight.
If I had
Yeah.
that kind of dedication to The Witcher 3, I'd have finished it by now.
Yeah, I mean, and you're playing with a lot of people and stuff. It sounds like fun. I mean, I play Pokemon Go still, but I probably put like 2 or 3 hours a week total into it.
Yeah.
I was kind of like stop somewhere after work and walk up and down the park out here or something.
Yeah, but it's like when you had that Facebook group and they're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna head a raid over here," and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, okay, yeah, I'll be there." And then
Sure.
you get a group coming over, like, "Let's take this guy out." And you
Yeah.
take him out, and like, "Who got him? Who got him?"
Nice.
It's kind of like that. We go, and then we trade off loot too, because
Mm-hmm.
you have leather and mail and plate, and if I get mail that I don't need because I have better stuff already, I can, hey, anyone want this? And you can trade and share and stuff. So, but I'm excited for Classic WoW. I've been talking with a group, and we're talking about like having our own little guild and whatnot. So I have a Discord server where we've been trying to plan what side we're going to be on, what server we're going to be on, and all that. And I think I might be taking Calvin's at least next Monday, because Classic WoW comes out at like 6 p.m. Monday. So I might stream like my first time playing vanilla, because I've never played the original WoW. So I might do that.
Nice.
Anyone else have anything for the week?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I do.
You? Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, I was going to bring that up. I got to travel around with Gus on the Mood, Tom Wire, Danny Colley, a bunch of guys I went to high school with. We went camping. We went down south. We split up for a little bit, came back together. One of the best things I did was I faced a Filipino who played Joker in Super Smash Brothers, and he was so much better than me.
Yeah.
Really?
And I didn't think Joker was that. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know he was like a top tier. He's one of the top tier characters, like with Pikachu and
Mario.
Oh yeah, and Mario now. Yeah. Well, no. No, Mario's not S. Okay, there's S tier, and then the one after that is A.
A.
That's
Okay.
yeah, he's an A character. With Link and
Gotcha.
Ike and a bunch of other characters. Yeah. So yeah, playing Super Smash Brothers. I went camping. We went hiking. We went kayaking. Just did a bunch of awesome stuff. That one of these guys I haven't seen in 2 years. So it was pretty amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I saw a Civil War reenactment, which I always thought they were kind of dorky. One of our teachers, Mrs. Hammond, in high school, I love very much. She was a 6'2", this chick who was obsessed with the Civil War. And because of her, I won. I watched what was that Denzel Washington movie, Civil War?
Glory.
Glory. Watched Glory.
Okay.
Watched
Matthew Broderick.
I watched Angels and
The Outfield.
The Outfield.
no Red.
Al.
What's that Gettysburg? There's 2 books.
The Address.
No.
Jesus.
They're Civil War, but it's about their letters. It's about Robert E. Lee and
Grant.
no.
I don't know. It's not going to matter to me if you said the right thing.
Is the
So
gray and the
continue.
black?
Okay, they're 2 pretty awesome historical books. They're taken from like their journals, and the guy writes a story on it.
Okay. So you went to a reenactment though.
Yeah, and I always thought it would be kind of stupid. These fucking nerds out there doing that, but it was pretty amazing. And they use guns that smoke.
Yeah,
and stuff
muzzles.
yeah.
Well, who won?
Wow.
I don't know what battle you're at.
Yeah.
You know what the craziest thing of that was when he first started and said I saw a Civil War reenactment. My first thought was
Captain
Marvel.
America.
That was my first thought.
Like the movie?
I was like,
we
what?
all saw that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's great.
Okay.
What?
A little.
Nah, I was
You saying that was
intending-
great?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you got
Okay.
to see,
I thought you were like, that's great. It's like, okay, I said it.
So what do? They just they go out there, they fire each other, and they just fall down?
And it was just a guy talking, telling you about
Okay.
everything that happened, and
Okay.
it's kind of like a play that a guy's narrating.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like choreographed.
Yeah, it definitely
Are there,
was.
like swords and stuff, or
There's bayonets and there's
there explosions?
guys and the guys who do like the swords. They do like just this.
just one too?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I saw one of these.
They don't like rehearse and choreograph.
That'd be great.
They have like basic troop movement. And
You know,
stuff
like,
that.
like the Indiana Jones show at Disney World, like that, but for Civil War.
Could you imagine if like
Awesome.
a rogue group of like the Southerners like came through and just flanked when they weren't supposed to and killed off all the Northerners and they won and like, wait, that's not what
We're
happened.
tired of losing.
Confederacy rocks, man.
Today, history changes. He starts playing the Doctor Who music.
I was gonna be in trouble down there, but I wasn't.
It ends with
Yeah.
the to be continued say,
or the legends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Theme music.
So anyway, like while we were driving around, Gus had his laptop and he was playing some things, and he was sounding like, "You got to get in the WoW, man." I know him and our buddy Michael, who you guys don't know, and Aaron. They had a little group chat going on talking about it.
Dude, that was one of my favorite things too, because I was talking to you guys the other day about trying to get you guys into WoW,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave this whole list as to like why and everything, and then like ultimately after we finished, like Gus goes, "Well, I guess I know who the number 2 Smash player is."
Placing himself first.
Yeah,
Now
and then
you the
granting
rank
me
of
second. I'm like, look what Gus has bestowed upon me, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
It was just so funny.
I'm excited to move into a new place, but I'm also stressed because I have no overlap.
Oh, you got to be out.
I got to be out the same day. I got to move in.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Do you have a lot of stuff?
I don't have a whole lot of stuff, and most of my stuff is still in boxes and stuff from when I moved in originally.
So you got to make sure everything's packed,
Yep.
except for the things that you just can't pack, and then move all that stuff, and then take those big things out.
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Gotta get your couch.
Or
How far is it?
get
Is
like a storage unit for a week.
It's like 2 blocks. It's not very far.
okay, you could
But,
walk that
well,
with everything.
Like
my
whenever,
bed is
like
very
whenever we
heavy.
took that TV back to the Tertiary house, we just rolled it down the street.
My mattress is actually over
sidewalk was
200
fucked.
pounds.
My first tax return, I used it to buy a flat screen TV, and Shane was with me, and we went in and we bought it in the mall, and as is per normal, I did not remember where I parked, and neither did Shane. So we carried it all through the parking lot,
Yeah.
all around the mall, just carrying
And
the
then we-
TV.
yeah.
It was like the Seinfeld episode.
Like Kramer and the
yeah.
air conditioner.
Yeah. Dude, and then it wouldn't fit in the car, remember?
Yeah, then it wouldn't fit in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to finagle that motherfucker. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh
In your
my
little
gosh,
Taurus?
That's funny.
I remember Rick was such a germaphobe when he was younger. And then I remember my son, he shit himself so bad at the mall when he was like 1 year old. He shit like and it shot off his back into his shirt. It was like behind his neck.
It's like
And then
your ass
Rick
crack is like closed off at the bottom, and it just
shot up.
squirts up.
And then he
Like a
was all wet
Supernatural
with
scene.
piss. You know what I mean? I was like, he did it in like a few minutes.
Yeah.
He just pissed and shit real bad.
Yeah.
So we had to go change
Bingo.
him. And I remember Rick just went, like he had a look on his face when he started whacking himself in the chest when he was drunk with a
remember
stick. Except he didn't. He picked up my son, just so he wouldn't have to suffer,
Yeah.
as much to relieve his suffering a little bit. Rick picked him. I remember just being so shocked, looking at him like, I can't believe you did that.
I was
I like to
like-
think that started your journey towards a more normal life.
I was like, is it Jean Grey that when she touches people, she
Rogue.
like
Rogue.
Rogue
When she
that's
absorbs
it.
her power.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Jean
do
Grey
that
is
with suffering.
Phoenix.
That's funny.
Man, there's like different things I've realized later on that, like, they were like quirks of Rick that were like mysterious quirks of like, I don't wait in lines and I don't use a card at Walmart. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, he was just germophobic. He didn't want to touch a card. Didn't know where it's been. Yeah. Like, that's all it was. But he's like, I don't need a card. If I can't carry it, don't need it. And you just walk in, grab his stuff, walk out. I'm like, Jesus, Rick, you're crazy. I mean, all right.
all-
But then it just makes more sense. I'm like, he just didn't want to touch a card. Could be germs there.
Yeah, that's why I don't like taking not cards, but cards from stores.
Like deck of cards or
Like when they keep trying to give you like rewards cards, and every store wants you like, here's loyalty card and stuff, like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want it, just get it away. Like, sir, why wouldn't you want this? It's gonna give you this much off. I'm like, no, you take it off and I'm gonna throw this away.
There's a
I hate
reason
it.
you want me to have it so badly.
Yeah, they want my wall to be this thick,
Yeah.
I hate it.
I mean,
I know you can do it all on your phone stuff now, but I've set my ways.
Do my Qdoba one? Like,
Yeah.
I have Qdoba, which
I have Qdoba.
they don't have Qdoba in
Fuck
very many
yeah.
places, but like there's just an app. You slide over, you tap it,
Yeah.
you scan it. I don't need a card or anything. It's
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
I had so much. I could have like 6 free entrees.
Nice.
I had so many points.
Yeah, there was one time
It was great.
I could have gotten 10 free entrees at once, just with the points that I had.
The toy store that I go to, like the guy just like sees me coming, he's like, and he would just like give me stuff. 'Cause I'll bring like some stuff to the table. He'd be like, this one, you just have it. He doesn't ring it up or anything.
When I worked in,
That's my favorite part. That's why I go back.
Cool.
that's why I go back and give it.
Yeah.
When I worked at a GameStop and Radio Shack and shoe department like that, there's that plaza by
Yeah.
Walmart. I used to eat either at the Chinese place, but mainly I would go to Subway,
Subway.
like every day.
Turkey
Yeah.
sandwich.
And I would get a sub. And the main reason I did that was because they had their Subway card. So I would go there, get my food that I could afford. Because later on in the month, when I couldn't afford it, because
Yeah.
I was running out of money,
Sure.
I had points that I could get free food.
Points. That's
Yeah.
So I would just do that until like as long as I have money, I'll do that. And then if I don't have money, I still have this I can fall back on.
Yeah.
So that was my plan with that.
Jeremiah's down the street is a coffee shop, and they have little business cards that have little frogs on them. And every time you get something, they
They kill a frog.
yes, they punch it out. But the punch doesn't work very well, and it's usually these like small women that work there, and they're always just trying so hard to punch that
Yeah,
frog.
because they've had the same punch since they opened.
What kind
like
of punch
a
is
year
it?
ago?
Is it a special shape?
like
No,
a
yeah,
3-hole
it's a frog
or
punch.
something.
Yeah.
I was
a
gonna
frog.
say we need to get one of those and just fucking punch our own holes.
The problem is it's still the same one, and it's so dull from
Really
cutting
dull.
through so much card stock in its life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did anyone
They-
go to Jeremiah's during WaveCon? I hope people
I'm
did.
sure
I mean,
they
several
did,
people
yeah.
did.
Yeah, I
I
did.
A lot of places
I did
down Front
once,
Street
I
did. I know people went to Tanya's several times. I know
Yeah.
people
Good
went
old
to the
Tanya's.
brewery in
Brewery a
Townhouse.
bunch, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Those-
Over the Moon got a few.
Mhm.
The pizza place.
There was a Starbucks right in the hotel though, which was a little more convenient most of the time. But
Yeah.
They gave
well,
me this smoothie. I
they-
thought it was like they gave me this smoothie, mango smoothie. I thought it was gonna be a fucking mango and banana. It was like syrup and ice and milk mixed together.
Yeah.
I was so fucking pissed off.
It's like Cafe Lafayette, but they serve Starbucks products. Or
Cof-
something.
yeah.
Cafayette.
Cafayette.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were at WaveCon, I forgot too. Like, I forgot that whenever you pick up those rotary phones and you put your ear to them, like they actually they tell you like history of the Lafayette.
Oh, do they?
You should have listened to that and used some of that. For
I didn't
your
know that at
Q&A
all.
questions.
Wait.
You didn't know that?
Wait,
Talk now.
so those don't work?
No.
Oh,
It's not a payphone.
I never once went over to them, picked them up, or
Yeah.
anything. I thought they were just
Oh, yeah.
there.
They have
as
these like
this-
Superman, Clark Kent, like little
Phone booths.
that shut.
Yeah.
And when you pick them up, they start saying like history on them.
Yeah.
I never
Super
once picked
cool.
them up. 'Cause I
No.
thought they were like payphone things. I'm like, I don't need that. I have a cell phone.
He was like, there's
No,
an old
Aaron,
hotel.
it's history. That's why the first one was like a rotary
That's what
dial phone.
Calvin,
and
that's
the
what I
next
thought. Payphones are history.
Yeah,
That's
they
what I-
are
That's
history.
No,
why he
but
thought a
like-
Civil War reenactment was for Marvel Civil War.
Exactly. We don't need
The
that.
first one's a rotary phone.
That would've
The
been
next one
awesome.
is a button dial phone, and then the third one is empty because everyone has cell phones. It's the progression of
The history of the
telephone
phone.
technology.
I will say that when I was talking about my son about the Civil War, and he legit was like, Marvel Civil War?
Yeah.
Like, no. He's like, that's the only one I care about, Dad. I was like, your ass would have been in trouble back then, Malachi. You can't pass the test yet.
How long have people been doing like Civil War reenactments?
I don't think they started like the year after.
7,000 years.
I don't think they started profiting the year after. Like the South starts doing it the year after to replace
I was just like,
The
you know,
Aztecs
like,
the
started
economy.
like how long? Like, did they have to wait before doing it? Like, was it like
Like how long?
too soon,
is it
guys? Too
until it's-
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Dude.
if there's like a fight out
Nicolas
back,
Cage just
and then
started
the
a
next
movie
day,
about
people
it.
start like, hey, remember this?
I would say it's when like the last soldier died, probably.
Probably.
Maybe.
Mm.
Do you think that the Civil War reenactors are like really big into LARPing as well?
No, I can guarantee you they're not.
There's got to be one.
Oh yeah, there's
gotta be
younger
some.
guys out there, dude.
That guy
Yeah.
that we met at Con of Thrones, like he would definitely be a reenactor,
Yeah,
right?
Like he's definitely like. There's been a moment where he's like, oh man, if I could grab my lightning bolt right now, you'd be dead.
Like, yeah.
Fucking yikes.
But I only had one bullet and it's gone.
Yeah, right. Now I gotta do this and this and this and this, and everybody stand beside each other.
God, now I want to watch Patriot.
Yep.
Even though it's not
That's
the Civil War.
Revolutionary War, but
Yeah,
still.
it's not. Yeah, because they're still
Are-
they're still doing lines.
Are
you
we
know?
like one of the only countries that actually do reenactments of our own Civil War?
I don't know.
I
Germany
can't-
probably wants to forget.
Yeah.
That wasn't a Civil
I mean,
War though, right?
Jesus, Sarah.
That wasn't
they've had-
a Civil
You think they
War.
Like,
build like
they've
these
had
huge
one-
furnaces or something? That's
No,
that's
I
terrible.
wasn't gonna go there. That's
That's basically what you said.
It's not like fireworks or something. Jeez.
Shane's like, they should ban pizza.
Like the French Revolution, like I wouldn't expect them to do a reenactment of that, or any kind of like
Or
British Civil
any,
War,
any of the
anything.
English Civil
It's
War.
gotta. They gotta be doing
It's,
it.
I mean, it does seem
I
weird.
don't know.
It seems weird. I mean,
No, I mean,
I understand the history aspect, but it does seem weird to like reenact
Yeah.
a war. You know?
well, I'll tell
Yeah.
you what. I know that the guy that did all the swords for Lord of the Rings, he started his own business before the movies, making weapons for reenactments.
For full contact fighting.
But it was specifically reenactments, like because he was a reenactor. I don't know what
Okay.
he was reenacting, but he he couldn't find anybody in New Zealand to make weapons, so he taught himself to do it. And then whenever they made Lord of the Rings, they was like, "Hey, we would love somebody on site to do this. You want to do it?" And now he's one of the most famous swordsmiths in the world.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So
I know
something like
there's
that.
a lot of like medieval combat sports and stuff like that where they actually suit up in
Yeah.
armor and padding and actually
Yeah.
beat the hell out of each other with
yeah,
metal
that's
swords.
become popular in like the last like 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know of any other country that
I
really
mean,
like.
ancient Rome used to do it in like the
Colosseum.
Colosseum.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Colosseum. Yeah, that was like
Well, they
entertainment
reenact.
and spectacle and
People were
stuff like
dying.
that. And also somewhat of like propaganda too, like
Oh yeah, sure, definitely.
Well, yeah, I mean, because
vilifying
they
the
would
enemies and
their enemies would be the prisoners that they would kill.
Yeah.
Be like, see, we killed them.
We're,
then when the
we're
prisoners
reenacting
actually
the actual battle where
Yeah.
we killed their friends. Now we're killing them.
gotta watch fucking Spartacus, man. Oh, Spartacus, Jesus, it's definitely historically accurate.
Spartacus is great. That should be something that we make like
Yeah.
Calvin and Rick watch at some point.
Yeah,
I really want
I
to,
only
yeah.
watched the first season and I didn't watch the last two.
Oh,
But I need to, according to Eric.
well, the finale of season 2 is so fun.
I would probably like it because I love Braveheart, and that's not
Yeah.
historically accurate at all.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I love
Well, it's
the
not
Gladiator.
Braveheart, I'll tell you that.
I love the Gladiator.
Did you
and
like-
It's not extremely accurate either.
No.
I guess the most like, did you like 300? Did you ever watch Frank
Oh,
Miller's
yeah.
300? Like, did
Sure.
you like that?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
obviously, it's not
No.
historically the
Not
way
at
we
all.
do, but it's similar
It's
to
amazing,
that.
though.
Like, honestly, the first episode of Spartacus is like a 300 ripoff in terms of visuals, you know?
Yeah, well,
and then it finds its own footing.
Yeah.
So
Great. Love it.
Yeah.
Well,
I used to
Broke the
reenact
silence
the Scottish settlers that landed back in my town in 1773.
Hmm.
Says someone in chat. It's not quite a Civil War.
We need to find just a weird thing to reenact around here.
The
Like one of the
sumo
Apollo
suit
space missions,
vlog.
the one that failed.
Yeah. No.
A weird thing to reenact.
No, something like local, something historically from Marietta.
Something
but
like
it's,
something just as
stupid.
weird as I can
No.
think of.
I mean, the thing around here would have been, wasn't there like Native American stuff that was going on,
Yeah.
and there
Oh,
was
yeah.
those forts and stuff.
Oh,
against
yeah,
that.
there was
I mean, that
rumors
Native
about
American
them.
stuff, yeah.
Like
I mean, like
General Washington
we're pushing
State
them
at
out,
Campus
and they're
Martius.
attacking us back. You know, like that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Eric, you could play the Indian.
I could.
Could.
I
yeah.
could. I
The
shouldn't.
brave
You look like him.
Eric
Yeah.
the Brave.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do that.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
Even though I feel justified, I wouldn't.
We enact the sumo Marietta walk every year.
It was
That-
reenacted. Remember this?
I said that.
I
I
did
said
say
that
that.
right at the beginning.
No, we should reenact the
No.
sumo walk.
the sumo walk. That would be
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be
good.
cool.
I like
really
that.
good.
That would be
Yep,
cool.
you just
Yeah.
played right into his only joke.
Well,
Well, one thing that can be, I don't know if you were going to move on to something else,
I was.
but I might have had a better segue.
Let's see.
Is that one thing that may be reenacted in the future is
Uh-huh.
maybe some people in the Space Force. Have you guys heard about that? Because I thought it was a
Yeah.
joke until I saw it like
No.
on Fox News and stuff.
No, yeah.
When did you
it's
see
an
this? Is-
actual.
I
this
saw
was-
it.
this
I saw
was-
it this morning.
Okay.
You and I were talking. I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" And I was looking. Like, what?
Oh.
I'm like, I don't know. I'll bring it up later.
I would have told you that Trump talked about that like last year.
Yeah,
And
he
I
talked
know.
about it a while ago.
But it's supposed
Aaron's
to
a little
launch.
behind the
It's supposed to
time.
launch August. I don't look at anything. Okay,
I don't want Trump spoilers.
Trump's tweets may have some spoilers about who knows what. I don't know what the things he references.
Saw the end of Endgame. Sad.
But no, the Space Command to launch August 29th.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
didn't hear
gonna-
about it. We never
a
talked
new-
about it. It
a
seems
new
very
branch of
weird.
the military.
Yeah.
The military.
Yeah.
And where they
Like,
where they
like
fight.
Marines, Army, Space Force.
So are they going to
Yeah.
be in space waiting for a war and then come down from the heavens to
No.
attack, or
Or
think so.
they're
Like, what's
prepared
their
for defending the country from non-terrestrial origin. I'm not
yeah, you know,
sure.
like what's the goal that they're going for with Space Force, or is it supposed to be like a very heavy push to be like, here's the Space
Yeah.
Force, and they're going to push out into space more?
I mean,
you know?
satellite defense is also.
Yeah, like the Star Wars program with
Nixon.
No,
No.
Reagan.
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 Reagan, yeah.
Reagan.
Like they named it Star Wars, but because that's fun. But,
Yeah, it's fun.
but it's not really necessarily a funny thing, fun to do.
No,
No.
but no, I just
don't know. I mean,
it
I
just
think
popped up.
looking forward, it's a good idea. You know, you don't want to have, like, we don't have warfare in space and shit. You know,
I mean, we do have like military aircraft that can go
Yeah.
above our atmosphere.
SR-71 Blackbird.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. I love the
But-
Blackbird.
It just popped up because they're supposed to launch August 29th.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what the hell is this? This can't be real. And then I saw it like on Fox
It's
and like real stations, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's like a week.
It was right there with another one I read that was from the BBC about a Mexican judge legalized or gave permission for recreational cocaine.
What?
Yeah. Like it needs to apparently go to like a higher up court thing than this one judge.
would
But it's
say
in
so.
Mexico. It's not in the
Yeah.
U.S.
Just a little Coke.
But it was something about recreational cocaine and stuff. And I was like, well, that seems weird.
Yeah.
I don't know much about cocaine, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
not,
mean,
it's not a great thing.
Like I've heard debates people about like legalizing all drugs because then instead of jailing those people, you can like try and help those people.
It also
Yeah.
would greatly diminish the power of cartels.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And all legalized crime, or illegal crime, I should say. Organized crime is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
all legalized.
Legalized crime. You know.
Well, I
Um,
mean, there are legalized crimes.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, that's the thing about the war on drugs is like, guys, it doesn't work. You know, like a lot of people are non-violent drug offenders, and they have, you know, they can't get jobs, they can't move into certain areas and stuff like that. You know,
It keeps them in the life.
yeah, like, but a couple of the Democratic candidates at least have talked about like decriminalizing, some even expunging records of like. If you have a record on there that's preventing you, you know, to have certain rights and certain things, like they would get rid of those things, which would be interesting. But yeah, Ohio recently had the thing where they kind of legalized marijuana, kind
Yeah,
of.
I was
They're
talking
not re-
Decriminalized,
They're not
right?
really.
I was talking about this the other day because I saw where it's the what's it called, like GBD or CBD oil.
CBD
Oh,
oil.
yeah,
Right?
CBD oil.
CBD, yeah.
It's that stuff that they
Mhm.
were like legalizing it, but there's like a certain amount of THC. Like
Yeah.
it's either 3% or 0.3%, but there's no way of knowing how much of THC something has
So,
without like taking it,
Yeah.
testing it.
So and it's so hard to test, especially like, you know, on the road or, it takes a long time to test this kind of thing. So under the presumption of innocence, people can say, this isn't marijuana, it's hemp. And they can't tell the difference, you know?
So it's just...
Other than, like, taking it, if it's psychoactive or not. So it kind of, like, it doesn't really, not in the way that I think it will in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
But not only has it happened in Ohio, I think it happened in Texas and, like, a couple other states, too.
Yeah. I just saw basically, like, lawmakers, legislation people were, like...
Yeah.
They were saying, like, basically it makes a misdemeanor, like, possession not an issue anymore because they could possibly have that, and it's impossible to know, unless they have a huge amount of it, and you're like, obviously this is more than what it should be.
Like they're planning on distributing it without a license or something.
Well,
like that,
it would be based on like the amount of THC that they would have, and if you have like a little bit, you could be like, well, this is hemp, and it only has this much, and whatever, and you'd have to you'd have to physically take it to test it, and it would be hard to test to begin with.
Yeah.
But if you have a whole bunch, if you have like 10 pounds. You're probably gonna be like, well, that's more than what you should have, or something.
Or like if they find fields of.
Yeah, there'd be like some way of like, if it's small enough, it's gonna be kind of hard to be like, well, we gotta take this and test it. They'd be more likely to let it go. So I was like, well, just a step towards that, maybe in Ohio before too long. I don't know.
It'll be weird, like going back and watching all the shows, like Breaking Bad, where now we go back and watch shows and just like use your cell phone. Oh, they didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
It's like, why are
Smoke
the
some
police so
weed.
bothered about all
wait,
this?
it's illegal.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Mom, why did they care about meth?
Well, I've heard like a lot of like serious writers say like, it's easier to tell a story before all that stuff, like in the 80s and 90s,
sure.
you know what I mean? And like in the 60s, like all this interesting stuff happens, all this political change, all this social change happens,
Yeah, like
there's no cell phones, there's no nothing.
Yeah, especially for like horror movies and stuff. Like, why can't you just get help? Why can't you just leave? Those kind of things.
Yeah.
Are some of the hardest questions I think those writers have to face.
Sure.
And sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And their movies suck.
I guess, Rick. There's the line. They could have left it. Now it sucks. Man. But I don't know. I just saw some random news articles on my phone,
Spaceforce.
and I'm behind in the times, I suppose.
It's just kind of a lazy name.
Space Force.
Yeah, it needs to be something else.
It's not
Nova
the air.
Core. I don't know.
It sounds like,
There's no air up there.
Sword.
It's outer
The
space.
Green Lanterns.
The Lantern Corps.
I don't know.
Lantern Corps.
It sounds like it's a Power Ranger, or it sounds like it's a like something.
Science fiction-y.
Yeah, it
because
doesn't
it's
sound
like Time
real.
Force.
But of course they have the Star Wars and thing,
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know.
Like, if they did call it Space Force, then the people that like sign up for it should be called like Space Cop.
Space Cop.
I know cop
From
doesn't make
Red-
sense,
from Red
but
Letter
it'd just be
Media?
funny. Yeah, Space Cop.
How about Space Enforcers?
Someone in chat suggested Top Lad Force.
Top Lad Force? Maybe. I don't know.
They're
see.
way up there. They got to be.
Yeah,
on
but
top.
the top lad thing, like, you don't want to oversaturate the market. Because then it's not special to be a top lad.
The
True.
Finger Blasters.
Too late.
Yes.
Finger blast.
So
Force.
the biggest news of the week we already talked about in a video.
Yeah, we talked about a Spider-Man.
Spider.
Which, we talked about, and whenever we talked about it, Shane kind of was just like, hey, this news kind of popped up, and let's just kind of like react to it in a way, which, was one of those videos that I said in the beginning of the podcast. I was like, I kind of like that we did that. Maybe we should do that kind of thing more often.
Yeah.
But whenever we did that, that was kind of earlier in the day before a lot more information had come out. So I found a thing. I just thought we would just kind of go over it again. Maybe talk about some of the different like avenues we could go down here. So I got a post here from the Marvel Studios subreddit, which it looks like to me like it's a pretty balanced and got a lot of information about it. So Deadline originally broke the story that Sony and Disney would no longer continue the current contract regarding Spider-Man. Disney asked the future Spider-Man films be a 50-50 co-financing arrangement between the studios. And there were discussions that might extend to other films in the Spider-Man universe. So previously their thing was 5%. Anytime, Marvel got to use Spider-Man for their movies, that's because, that was part of the deal. But when Spider-Man had spin-offs, Disney had 5% of those movies. Sony paid for everything, but that was kind of like the deal, right?
When Spider-Man had spin-offs?
When Spider-Man had its own thing. Its own, singular
Movie?
So
solo movie.
like
Far From
Homecoming
Home.
and Far From Home, Disney would make
okay.
5% of the, I think it's called first dollar revenue from that. So anyway, that's what the original deal was. Obviously, they're trying to change the deal up because I think that they're still contracted for 2 more movies.
Yeah.
Starring Tom Holland.
Wait, so there still will be 2 more movies?
That's
then?
what I've heard. Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, but the big thing here that happened is Deadline, in their first version of the article, which would have been around the time that we were talking about it, Deadline said that they talked about the 50-50 split, and Sony turned down that offer flat. And I don't believe they even came back to the table to figure out the compromise. And that was the thing that people were like, oh man, Sony
turned and
done.
said no.
All right, we're not going to do it. And then people all got really, really mad, you know?
Sure.
However, Deadline has very sneakily edited their article to drastically change the context. Sony apparently did make a counteroffer, but Disney turned it down. So they've crossed out the I don't believe they even came back, and it's been replaced with sources say that Sony, led by Tom Rothman and Tony Vinciquerra, came back with other configurations, but Disney didn't want to do that. Okay, so now it's it's that kind of thing is kind of flipped, and it's like, well, it's falling back on Disney.
Yeah.
When people are like, what's wrong with the original offer? Should that be okay? At the very least, we'll do that. And Sony was like, when they were renegotiating this contract, Sony's like, let's continue with what we've been doing, And Disney's like, no, we don't think so. Because let's face it, people love the MCU, and you made $1 billion off your Spider-Man movie that came right after Endgame, and that sold a lot of tickets. So we want. I think at one point somebody said.
So is it Disney being like, we want more from Far From Home?
Yeah.
So in this deal, then, is it just based on like Spider-Man showing up in MCU movies, and then the MCU Spider-Man solo movies?
Disney
it wouldn't affect anything with like Venom into the Spider-Verse, any of that stuff?
Only in the contract when it came to Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think.
And
now
Sony would still be paying all the cost.
Yeah, Sony would pay the cost of the movie, and then they would get originally they got 95% of it. And Marvel still retained like merchandise and stuff like that because that was never sold. Only the film rights were sold.
That's huge too.
And you gotta remember too, like Sony bought Spider-Man for like $7 million when Marvel was bankrupt. You know, like so the deal that they keep getting it's pretty good for them.
So the idea here would be they spend all the money to make Far From Home, and then if Far From Home earned $1 billion, they have to split that 50-50 with Disney. Was the idea.
Now I believe what like again too, like this. The thing that's kind of weird about this is like they're kind of airing their dirty laundry publicly, and kind of like making fan outrage a negotiation tactic. Which is shitty. Like I personally, when we talk about these kind of things, when I reacted to the news the other day, it was pure fanboy. No, I need Spider-Man in the MCU, and I don't want it any other way. I don't care about like business side of things that much, but just we wanted to be fair and make sure we have all the facts when it comes to these kind of things.
And we also were reacting to a headline itself initially,
exactly,
and not really diving in super more to like, we didn't have all the information of like what's going on there. Is there more from behind closed doors?
Exactly.
This is a news outlet. Where'd they get their information from? I had an article the other day someone sent me. And it was like, 35-year-old man dies from being addicted to energy drinks, drinking 4 a day. Yeah. And I was like, what? And I started reading it, and it was like, this man died of caffeine toxicity after drinking 4 energy drinks a day and 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a lot more than
changes
and I was like, why didn't it say anything about the coffee in the title?
Yeah.
You're trying not to, make coffee bad?
It's because because they get paid per click when advertising's on their site, and you want a good clickbaity headline.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
So like give them enough information to be like intrigued, but you don't want to give them enough information in the headline.
But is this Sony does not want to make a deal with Disney, or
that's what it came out with because Variety initially had the wrong report, and they changed it later. So they got their clicks, then changed the article to make it more truthful. Yeah. I don't know if that was done on purpose or something like that, or it's just. But what happened was is that they put it out without having proper sources. Right. And all of this can be people are right now. The general thing I've been hearing is that people are very upset with Disney for being greedy, for wanting to take 50% of a film that they did not pay for, which I think is true. But there's also here in this post, Hollywood Reporter is reporting a different offer from Disney than was initially reported. Disney has been seeking to co-finance an arrangement on upcoming movies, looking for a 30% take. That's a huge amount of money difference. You know? But the thing that it kind of came out was like, okay, so we have this deal. Disney says, hey, we want to negotiate the deal. We want half, and usually in an arrangement, you go, it's ridiculous, 10, and then they settle on 15, and that's how it goes. But it seems here that there was a lot of kind of like, I don't know how to really say it, and this is me just kind of guessing, but kind of like ego in the sense of like, dude, we're Disney in the MCU. It's like, yeah, well, you know how much money Spider-Man Far From Home made, and that's our movie.
Yeah,
you're not getting that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, that's the biggest grossing movie Sony has ever had.
See, the other thing with
over
that too
$1
is,
billion.
why isn't it like? I mean, I don't know, I wasn't there, but why couldn't it have been like, hey, we want 50%, but we'll also do this to help with it? You know,
Yeah.
like, was there like
Exactly.
give us 50% and we'll help more, or is
Was
it
there
just
some kind of concession? that
yeah,
was
or is
offered
it just
Yeah.
hey, we just want 50% or we don't want to do this anymore? You know, you made a lot of money, we want in on that money.
And,
Exactly.
you know, is Sony or Disney like feeding facts to these reporters to get things on their
That's
side?
the thing, and it honestly could be either way too. But obviously, this story blew up all over the place, and you know there was Sony put out a couple different statements that I thought were interesting. They said a statement that much of today's news about Spider-Man has been mischaracterized. Has mischaracterized recent discussions about Kevin Feige's involvement in the franchise. Because the one thing is that Kevin Feige operates as a producer on those movies, you know. And they said something really weird that I think is interesting. They said, I hope this might change in the future, but we understand that Feige has many new responsibilities because Marvel has just added all this new IP. They have X-Men, they have all that stuff. And I'm thinking like, okay, on the surface, I get what you're saying there. Maybe Feige's like, yeah, if we don't get more money, it's not worth me going over there because I could be working on this stuff, you know? But to say that he doesn't have the time to do it, like he produced Infinity War, Endgame, like the last 5 Marvel movies at the exact same time, and they're all like over $1 billion in terms of, you know, like don't say he doesn't have the time to do it, you know. That's just kind of, I felt like that was kind of like a
Slight.
not a slight, but
like
kind
an
of like
assumption
like an
they
assumption
had
or
no
something where they're
yeah.
like trying to cover their ass a little bit. It's like, well, we
cop-out.
understand if he doesn't have the time and you know to justify what they're asking for and stuff like that. So I don't know. When it came to all this stuff, like I really just care about the stories. I don't care about the business side. I don't call one company evil or one stupid or one in the right or in the wrong.
Yeah.
Like these guys make these crazy things and they deserve the money that they make from it. You know, it's just how it is. You know.
Yeah.
So.
But I hope that they can come to terms,
an agreement.
make something
And-
work out, so that the
yeah.
fans that really enjoy the stories they're telling and
Yeah.
want more. Because like for a while there, like I was just thinking about, like, 'cause I didn't dive into anything else with it.
Sure.
But I'm like, man, if Spider-Man's not anymore, man, Far From Home, the way it ended, like I can't just let it end there and there's no more
can't.
Tom Holland
I
Spider-Man
know.
and we go into a new Spider-Man entirely, and like
Yeah.
I don't want that. That's not what I want.
Exactly.
Like,
And you know, I mean, Tom Holland is still contracted, and their original deal, I think, still has 2 more movies.
So the Disney Sony deal, they still are making.
I believe so. I might be incorrect with that. If anything, I know
Because I'd be less bothered by that.
Tom Holland is still under contract for 2 more movies, but it might not fall under
but
the
how does
Disney
that work
purview.
with the Sony Disney
Yeah.
contract of that all? Yeah.
So, again, I kind of feel like this was leaked or, kind of thrown out there prematurely, so that you feel this fan outrage, and now there's a lot more pressure to reach a deal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that this like never gonna happen. To me, this feels exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy 3
Yeah.
and the director. What's his name?
James
Gunn.
James Gunn.
Gunn.
Yeah.
James Gunn.
Right, like when that happened, and we're like, "Well, what the fuck?" And it's like, I don't think he's ever. They're not ever gonna fix that. And then a couple months later, oh yeah, I got fixed.
Yeah.
You know, and then
never
every-
was.
Batista
like a
threatens to
huge
leave again.
problem or
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. You
Just
know?
I'm
I mean-
leaving MCU, and
The thing too, how
That's
long?
it.
How long do we have until another Spider-Man movie comes out?
Probably a while.
It
It'll
won't
be
be
a
next
while.
year, maybe 2 years, probably 3 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's time to come to negotiations and figure out
Sure,
what they
yeah.
want to do. Where it's not like they're holding them hostage now from us because we
Yeah.
aren't getting our Spider-Man.
Well, and not
Yeah,
just
but
like
there's-
Spider-Man, but it seemed like they were going in a direction where he was going to be a lead or a member of the new Avengers.
Yeah, like
They-
he was going to be a new forefront for, like, we've lost this. Now we need something else to really be in the front, and this is what we have. But then also by the end of that, like maybe not. Like by the end of Far From Home, is it going to be going a way of like, Iron Man and Tony Stark, and who he is being, I'm Iron Man, that kind of thing, or is it
Yeah.
going to go a different way entirely?
Yeah.
So
We may
I mean-
never know.
to me, I feel like he's the new Tony, kind of.
In a way, yeah.
Like not in terms of replacing.
man, he's like Tony and he's
Well,
like
what
Tony
I'm saying is like
and
he's like
Steve
I feel like he
together.
could be the
Yeah.
leader of the Avengers, and you know what I mean. And he's like the most interesting character to me right now.
And I mean, the fact that the actor is so young, like they could put an investment
10
into that
years.
character, and he can ride out the next.
He's
10
fucking
years.
Nathan Drake too now.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, that's crazy. But no, like Spider-Man to me, especially this one here, he's got the smarts and the technology, like technological know-how of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
But he also has like the heart of Captain America. You know,
Sure.
like
So
he's
yeah.
like a good mix of those two characters to me.
Yeah.
Well, what's weird is like if the next movie, well, I guess if the next movie adds the next two movies, if you're correct, like would he just have a regular suit? You know what I mean? Like that'd be kind of weird.
I don't know.
Just ignore everything that's happened before.
I mean, you know, spoilers into the latest Marvel movie, but you know, if you don't want to hear them, maybe skip ahead to a certain spot. I don't know when, but you know, he made his own suit.
Yeah.
You know, eventually. You know, granted, he used awesome shit to do it, but he made his own suit.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Using and you know, like
Star
it's one of those things where like you get a superhero show that focuses on one character, like let's say the Flash, or let's say Arrow. And Arrow starts out by himself, and he can do a lot of things. And then you start adding more to his team, and he gets more resources. He starts to do less himself and relies on others, you know? So there has definitely been people out there saying that, you know, they don't love this version of Spider-Man because, you know, like he didn't make his own suit originally. Like he had that kind of like sweatsuit thing, but he needed Tony Stark to come in and do something. Or, you know, like we didn't get to the Uncle Ben stuff with him, and I think that we want to see that with a Spider-Man, you know, even though it's there, we didn't really get to see it. Like those arguments, while I think they have some merit, like I don't personally think that's a detriment to the character. Like I think Spider-Man in the MCU, the best thing he does is that he's a promise for the future, and he has things to look up to and aspire to, you know, while doing it the way that he wants to do it. I love that about him. You know, no other character in Marvel really does that right now because they're not that young.
One of the interesting things about it was like I felt like Uncle Ben was less of a motivator, and Tony Stark is more of a motivator.
Well, to me, it's not necessarily that because he was out there doing that before Tony ever found him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
But he started doing significant things after Tony.
True, but it's one.
I mean,
we don't know.
I mean, the thing you have there is he's also like he didn't have anyone to follow. He was making up as he went.
Yeah.
So I mean, you saw some things where like he was trying to stop guys and trying to find his way of how to be a hero, which I think is directly related to Uncle Ben and his, you know, what happened there. Even though we haven't seen it, we've known it
like,
several times.
But we do see, like, you know, when he wears a suit of his Uncle Ben's or he's using like the luggage and stuff, like we know that pain and grief and all that stuff is there and happened. It's just that we've already seen it twice on the big screen and multiple times in television and stuff like that. And it's
television.
like we can kind of just skip over that and like know that he feels sad that his uncle's not there, but that's not the story to be told right now, which I think is fine. You know?
I mean, in the Marvel Spider-Man game, like I wasn't like, man, I wish they would have put me in the beginning. I would have seen this Spider-Man become Spider-Man. I liked jumping into the middle and being like here's a Spider-Man.
Fully established in.
Yeah, I don't know why he's here. I don't know how he made his suits. I don't know any of his story, you know, but it's cool that here's a Spider-Man, and I like the character, and I like the story I get, you know?
And I loved that game, I loved the story. But I also, and you know, I loved Into the Spider-Verse. I loved that movie. Mm-hmm. But in the back of my head, as I'm watching those, I'm going like, oh man, I'm glad we got this. In addition to having him with the other Marvel heroes over on Marvel Studios movies, you know? Like, in my head, I'm also thinking like, you know, this is like a cool, like, almost what if, and my main Spider-Man is here doing his story still. I just don't want that to go away. I feel like it's a good foundation for me, you know.
I still haven't watched that. It's on Netflix too.
What?
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Amazing, dude.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I don't know what the rights are for the video games, but does this hamper possibilities of Spider-Man being in the new Avengers game?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
There's an
think
article
so.
on it actually on IGN. I haven't clicked on it, but that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, film rights it's just different. Sony owns the film rights of Spider-Man. Marvel owns everything else, I think. So like the games have to be licensed.
Yeah,
you know, still.
So, however, the licenses, like, you know, the Spider-Man game, you know, had exclusive rights to the Sony one, but perhaps Spider-Man solo games, you know, if they tie a universe together for like a game universe, those would be on PlayStation, possibly. But it doesn't mean that Spider-Man can't show up in other games.
If this deal doesn't work out, like, I wonder if Marvel will be pissed at Sony and won't allow the character on the PS4. Afterwards.
Like just like Squaresoft was pissed at Nintendo for a decade.
The thing with that is it really depends on how the contracts are and stuff with it. And I imagine they have to make some money from those video games being.
They do.
Out,
they get money from the license.
You have a license out. They're making the game. Sure, it's on the PlayStation, but that's to sell PlayStations. But to not have it on Sony. My thing too about exclusive like console games, like if I make a game and I put it only on Sony, I'm losing out on anyone that would buy it and want it on any other console, you know? So
Yeah.
from like a creator standpoint, I should put it on everything I can so that it's more widely available to anyone who could want it.
Yeah, but sometimes Sony or a company will pay more money. Or
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Bayonetta 2
Yeah.
was not going to get made, and Nintendo said, "I'll give you money, and it's only going to be on Nintendo."
Yeah, you
And
got
all these people were like, "Why would they do that?" I'm thinking it's because it would never have gotten made unless Nintendo came in like Tom Cruise and saved the day.
I don't know how Tom Cruise relates, but
And then
no, yeah,
he
exactly.
saves the day.
And you got to balance out the idea of like, is this money, enough to make this an exclusive title
Yeah.
for just this one console, or
Yeah.
would I make much more going this way, or is it a good enough agreement for whatever?
I know
other
sometimes
reasons?
it's like, we'll give you the money to make this game, and it's 10 years. It can't be on another console. So
But-
we have that a lot.
Before the conversation goes any further, like there was people are saying in the chat, like Sony just recently bought Insomniac that created Spider-Man, correct?
Mhm.
Recently too. So
Yeah.
that kind of like, I don't. Again, we don't know. Like, does that mean that Sony through Insomniac would have to pay for the license from Marvel? Because I don't know about the video game stuff.
If Insomniac
Sony
would have to have an
only has the
exclusive
film
deal on
rights,
it.
I think. So
yeah.
again, this kind of stuff was like, it's not why I'm a fan,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is kind of interesting.
And Disney has a pattern of fucking Spider-Man because when they bought it, like that's what killed Spectacular Spider-Man, the TV show,
Mhm.
along with Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
But that was true of that's true of a lot of like when another company buys another company, they usually kind of like wipe the slate clean and start again. I mean, I absolutely loved Clone Wars when it was going, but when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they stopped Clone Wars and they started their own productions.
But they
And
fucking,
then
Jesus.
yeah,
they did the right thing.
and then they came back.
I don't,
said,
know,
yeah.
I don't know who said it, but that butt was so damn loud.
Shane.
But
It was so fucking loud.
yeah,
But no, I mean, even still though, like I've still really enjoyed the other stuff they put out
Me too.
as well from
Yeah.
Disney's side.
and that Spider-Man game, like, didn't it? It became like the best-selling superhero video game of all time.
Yeah.
Became
Yeah,
one of
sure.
Insomniac's best-selling games of all time.
Yeah,
It was great. I loved it. Should've been
me
gaming
too. I just I imagine that we'll hear in the next year or so we're gonna hear of an agreement has been reached.
Hopefully.
I'm
Hopefully.
sure.
I'm not like one of those guys that's like Disney is the most evil company in the world, even though I don't think they're the greatest or anything. Because one, they handle a lot of the things that I really love, and I'm not as like shitty about those things. I shouldn't say shitty.
yeah.
Like I don't like dislike a lot of the things that they've done in other properties, but we'll see. I just I would hope that like the fan outrage or the fan response to this shows both companies is like, hey, we need you to make a deal because I'm gonna go buy it if it's there.
Mhm.
Regardless of who gets that money or how much of that dollar that I
They
spend.
both benefit more from it.
Yeah,
I feel like,
they benefit more from it than it not having it there.
Well, even if, I don't know how the deal exactly worked with like Endgame and Infinity War, but having Spider-Man in there, like having that character giving money to Sony for that, but being a big part of other things that Disney's making more money from. It's got to help out both ways either way, right?
For me, it was like, if Disney is the one, it's like, yeah, we don't want to continue with this arrangement. We want more. I can kind of see why, because the MCU is like a big giant billboard for Spider-Man solo movies at this point. It's like, well, I'm not going to not go see Spider-Man, even though it's a different company, because it directly ties in. Like, I need the conclusion of this final phase or this phase 3 of the MCU.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I would have done that thing where it's like, all right, how about 50? And
Sure.
they're like, no, not at 50,
But
how
also,
about
that
10?
ship has also probably sailed. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think Spider-Man's next few movies are quite going to be as much reliant on.
It depends. It depends on what the next, phase 4, probably not, but phase 5, probably so. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Like, I don't even know what Spider-Man will be. Phase 4 is only going to be the next 2 years. Spider-Man not even appearing.
What were you
know?
going to say? It might not be relying on what?
The MCU is what I
Yeah.
assume you were going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends if you have characters like Happy Hogan you're going to cut out or, different things like that. Like Happy Hogan, that's from Iron Man. So, that's definitely from the MCU of it,
Sure.
If you just go without it, you cut him out. Like, he seemed to be a big part of that then. And they kind of tossed in that Aunt May kind of, like, idea thing there. So,
And then they threw it out.
They can, I guess. But it just depends on what they do. I don't know. You could also have more tie-ins to a lot of stuff. The villains we've had for Spider-Man have also been very tied to Iron Man and Tony Stark as to why they are who they are and how they got made, So, you can always have villains that aren't tied to the universe and stuff too, but that's been a staple of being like it's all tied together.
Saba in chat is saying it's not that Disney, wants 50% of this Spider-Man. They want of all of the Spider-Verse like Venom is what
See,
they're saying.
that's what I was asking before.
I don't,
is
but
like,
I haven't seen like an official source on that. And now, granted, I might have just missed it.
Yeah.
But I didn't talk about that because I just wanted to make sure we were talking about things that we knew, or as much as we could have known.
Yeah. Because
So
like,
maybe that's the case, and if that's the case, then yeah, they probably that's not
I think
great.
that's 100% ridiculous. If there's
Yeah.
like, I mean, unless they're trying to make a deal to buy back the rights.
Yeah.
But if it's movies they aren't making money from, they're not helping, and Sony's just doing it all on their own,
But
I don't
if-
think Disney should be.
If Venom 2 is starring the MCU Spider-Man as well, then does that count rather than versus just the contracted Spider-Man films? You
Well,
know?
I mean, but can they do that? Because like, how
Yeah,
are their
I know.
contracts set
That's-
up for that? They
so,
probably can't.
I
would
think
assume.
it's the muddy water, that kind of thing is there. Like I don't know. I'm also not a businessman. I also don't love talking about it that much, So I hope that they work it out.
I imagine most of their contracts were set up where it's very specific on what they're allowed to do and what they can have.
Yeah.
And then that's why they're not making a solo Spider-Man film off over here. They're making like these spin-offy things based
Sure.
on Venom with no Spider-Man connection, based
Yeah.
on Into the Spider-Verse animated, can't be confused with the MCU,
Yeah.
So like they're doing things like that so they can kind of keep things rolling over here for Sony with some Spider-Man, but not Spider-Man.
I get you. I personally feel like the things that I really love about this version of Spider-Man came from Civil War. Like it was incepted there.
Yeah.
Like the Russo brothers talk about, like one of them is like, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. Like the way they introduced him and brought him in there, and then Sony is just like, all right, here you go. You're getting, you're doing that. I don't feel like Sony's like, oh yeah, they're responsible for everything about Spider-Man that I love. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like on Sony's side when it comes to this. I'm not necessarily on Disney's side or Marvel's side or any side. I just want more of that. So whoever's responsible for that, if they deserve more money, sure, give them some more money.
Yeah.
So like I just when I kind of read some of the comments and people talking about this, and it's like it's all about Disney greed or it's all about Sony greed. It's like that's not true. It's definitely in the middle there somewhere.
Give Disney 25%, and Disney will let you have Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox.
Fuck yeah.
in your solo movie for the next one.
I know, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
Having John Bernthal Punisher and Tom Holland
They
Spider-Man.
did that. Like, fuck Disney. Sony. I'd be playing PS4 only.
Could you imagine a story where it's Bernthal and he's hunting like a mutating Tom Holland, like mutating into spider, like man spider.
That would be interesting.
From the cartoon, yeah.
Yeah, there was. I remember a cartoon like series where like Predator's hunting down this monster, and it's Spider-Man who's been like mutating into an actual spider, and he gets like 6 arms and stuff and all that. And it'd be fun if you had John Bernthal and Tom Holland, and they're doing that.
Yeah. Just shooting. I love hearing him scream. Like he probably lift like 1,000 pounds.
Just by screaming.
Yeah. All right, so I think that was our Spider-Man conversation, but
Okay.
we'll see where it goes. I'm happy I just want it again. I'm happy with what we gotten. I want that. I want more of that.
I want to keep feeling what I'm feeling.
Whatever you gotta do to do that. If what if Disney said, hey, yeah, we want half the profits, but we'll pay for half the movie.
Yeah, like
or something like
that's
that.
why I was asking. Like I wasn't in there, but I would
Yeah.
hope that if they said, we want 50%,
Sure.
there'd be a follow up of, and here's what you get if you give us 50%.
Yeah. Sony, all they got right now, because they just lost James Bond. Like all they got right now is Spider-Man.
Sony lost James Bond.
Yeah, Sony doesn't
All
do James
the,
Bond anymore.
Oh, who has? James
I don't know
Bond?
who has it.
Well, how do you,
Lionsgate?
I'll look.
The
did they just sold it or what?
I don't remember.
There was a legal battle.
There was
Didn't
something like that
Lionsgate do
recently.
Casino Royale, didn't they?
Wait, there was
no.
a recent legal battle?
Yeah.
It was. I think it was recent.
Pretty sure.
Because there was a legal battle back with like
Yeah,
Timothy
there's
Dalton.
always going to be.
In the past year, I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
But like Sony, like their meal ticket is Spider-Man and now Venom. Like that's what we got. Disney's like, we got Star Wars, we got the rest of the MCU. Like, we'll just make another Black Panther movie. Like that thing sold like crazy. Captain Marvel, that thing sold like crazy. They're gonna be fine if this deal doesn't go through.
Toy Story 5.
Yeah, I don't think Sony will necessarily be fine if the deal doesn't figure its way
I know
out.
during the PlayStation 3 era, it was the only profitable thing they had.
Yeah.
And now the PS4 is doing very well. So
Yeah. So, anyway, yep.
Huh. Okay. Now I'm worried about James Bond.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out here. It looks like
No, I mean,
in
the
2018 there was like a 5-way race to try and get the rights. Apple,
Miramax.
Amazon.
Yeah, Miramax had it, right?
But it looks like Universal won the rights to internationally distribute the upcoming James Bond 25 film,
Okay.
directed by Danny Boyle.
Yeah, they just announced the title for the new one and everything.
You guys find all your news. You guys are on the internet looking at stuff. I don't do that.
That's
stuff.
what everybody does
Like,
in the world.
I don't do
Aaron.
that. You know what? I come here. I watch things that I watch because it's filmed. I go home. I spend time with family and play WoW.
You play WoW.
You play
Yeah,
WoW
play
for
WoW
12
for
hours
12 hours a week. Fuckers are doing
I
looking
go to
up Sony
IGN
stuff.
like twice a day, and every important thing that I care about is on the front page.
Same thing for me.
Yeah, but there's spoilers there for TV shows. So I
like I
can't
don't
risk
look
it.
up.
Not
I'm
really,
not,
unless
I'm
you
not
click
sitting
on,
at
like, the
home
spoiler
going
stuff.
like.
I mean, they have stuff about like Arrowverse and stuff on IGN all the time.
Yeah, I don't
whenever
go.
so,
They'll
like,
have, like,
I
thumbnails
personally
and
don't
shit.
go on IGN
Yeah, I'm
because
not going-
it can do that, but granted, you're not in there. You don't watch the Arrowverse and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's a small amount of stuff that you would be spoiled
like you
on.
won't.
And you wouldn't pay attention to it anyway.
Like I've seen stuff like, can you believe this character came? Like, oh, well, I'm not going to click on
Not
that.
gonna click on it. I
Yeah.
understand.
No, but the
Well, yeah,
fact
but
that,
that-
that character came is the spoiler.
That's the spoiler
No, but they don't
part,
show
you know?
me the character.
Literally the clickbait is I can't believe that character
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, so, like,
and,
they-
and
they-
you have to click to find out that
Yeah.
character.
Yeah,
You know,
so
it's
it's not-
generally
well,
what it is.
I mean, if it's like I can't believe this person that character died in Arrow, and I'm like, oh man,
It never
someone
does
dies
that.
in Arrow. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't want to risk this. I want to experience the story.
Sure, and I definitely understand that, but I think that it's not like nothing or that.
It's just I don't trust anywhere anymore. You know,
Sure, that's why- I mean,
Facebook,
I know you
little,
guys-
little Debbie's.
I know you guys always
I've
mock
been
me for
burned.
going on Reddit, but that's the cool thing about Reddit is I can choose what subreddits I go to. Like I'm not like subscribed to any Arrowverse Reddits, you know, so I don't have to worry about going to the front page and there's some shit on there that I don't want to see. And then generally, those kind of things are moderated by 10, 20 people for each subreddit, and they will mark things spoiler, so you have to click it to actually see it and click it again to go to it. You know,
Unlike Aaron, I don't look up anything.
yeah. That's fine.
Unless it's board.
I
You
don't.
just
I don't
mock
look
others
up
that
anything.
do.
Do what?
So, but you mock others that do.
I'm not mocking anybody.
I don't seek out information. If I happen upon it, then it happens. But I don't go to places where I find out a lot of information
Sure.
because I've
Yeah.
been burned in the past.
Well, I mean, it's
I just prefer not to.
like I said, it's like the Walking Dead spoiler I got looking at Facebook about Little Debbie's. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
going to a YouTube video about Mario Maker, scrolling down, and it says, Darth Vader is Luke's
Yeah.
father, kind of thing. You know, like it's that kind of stuff where it's like
Sure.
I can't trust anything.
Yeah,
I can't look at comments. I can't look at anywhere there's public. Can't go there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get you.
Even memes are super spoilery now.
Yeah, that's the Little Debbie was a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember
I
when
don't
your
go on
mom used to
Facebook, so I
pack
can't
this?
relate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get
I don't go
spoiled
on
too.
Facebook
I really
at
don't
all.
get spoiled too much. Last time I
Yeah.
was really spoiled was Walking Dead
Mm-hmm.
a few years ago. I went to comicbookmovie.com and it was on the front page.
Yeah. The most I get
So-
spoiled these days are like DMs on like Discord. Like somebody would have sent me like, "Hey, did you hear about this?" And I'm like, "Hey, appreciate it, but I would really have loved not to have heard about this, But I don't want to be like ban this person or unfriend them or something, But like, there's
Yeah.
one guy on our Instagram, like I'm not gonna say his name, but like he just keeps sending stuff like there's like 17 times a day. I look at Instagram and there's like a notification of this guy he's just sending anything that comes out, sends it. We've never replied, but he just keeps sending it. I want to be like, dude, just stop,
There was one we had back on Twitter a long time ago where in Torchwood there was a hand in a jar
Yeah.
for the whole first season.
Yeah.
And there's people being like, how do you not know whose hand that is in
Sure.
that jar?
Yeah.
It's this. How
Yeah.
do you not understand that? I'm like, how would they know?
Right.
Leave it alone. Let
Yeah.
them discover it on their own.
I know.
Quit saying stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
There is a kind of a weird thing if someone wants to be the first person to tell you that this happened, And then when they're like, oh no, I heard about that, they're like pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like they want to do you a favor by telling you so you don't
Sure.
look like an idiot.
that's
But
how I feel
I
whenever.
want to be an idiot.
When
Yeah.
something happens and you're like, Aaron, you didn't know about this? I'm like, no. It's like, oh, we're watching
Yeah.
something and you're like, I heard about that here. I'm like, what? I'm
Yeah.
like, why? You're like, I feel like I'm now.
But,
I
like,
feel like I've been punked.
Just to tell people, like, it's so like I've like never been grateful to somebody for showing me a news story like that.
Yeah.
Like I've never been
Yeah.
like, oh, thank you for telling me who's going to be cast in the next season of this show. It'd been really cool if I just watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I record my reactions, so that's important to me.
Well, it was like when I didn't know about Sam in Supergirl,
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
that. I was like, oh, shit.
And I knew that, and I didn't say shit.
Yeah,
Though
you
I
know?
knew about it.
that kind
you
of
know?
stuff. So there's things like that where I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, and I'm subscribed to the Supergirl subreddit because I'm like, well, I'm not worried about being spoiled for that. However, that subreddit, which is connected to the other Arrowverse ones, will have like at the top of the post like Arrow spoilers, and they'd have it blacked out. And I'm like, I'm not gonna click that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
So
that's why I feel like relatively safe, though it's definitely happened.
And
Definitely,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. I got burned by the Boys trailer. because like you guys were having this amazing reaction in the first episode.
Oh,
It's like, I've already seen all this.
yeah.
Damn it.
How'd you see that trailer?
See, I don't remember. Is
I
that?
don't remember.
I don't remember. I remember I looked up one and I watched it like a little bit and got a feel of like what the idea was for it. But then like when we were watching, Rick's like, "This was in the first trailer." I'm like, "It was?" And I was like, "Did we watch different trailers?" Like I don't remember that moment right there happening.
So I guess that's a tease to say that our first reaction to the boys is pretty crazy.
A little bit.
And we'll say nothing else.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. Though definitely you won't be around tomorrow.
So there's
Which we said last week.
Yeah, we did. There's some bad news maybe with Disney, but there's some good news as well about the Obi Wan series.
Ooh.
A casting announcement.
For what?
Huh?
So has it actually been announced by Disney?
It was reported by
Something
Variety or Deadline.
Deadline.
Like it
and now
is.
other
wait,
people were reporting.
Deadline, the one you were complaining about that had wrong facts on the last Disney thing we had?
No, it was Variety, I believe. I think.
A Variety and other major entertainment outlets.
Yeah,
So
all-
when
all-
it gets to this point, it's all but confirmed, and I think they're waiting to like have a really big moment for D23 maybe, which is happening right now. I think.
Yeah, I haven't heard any great
It's happening
come from
August 23rd, so tomorrow to the 25th.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So I mean, we'll probably be getting a lot more awesome Star Wars, stuff to talk about, and obviously the Mandalorian and all that stuff. But do you have a thing open or anything?
I do. I mean, there's not a lot about it.
Sure.
Ewan McGregor is a Jedi once more. The veteran actor has agreed to slip back into the Obi-Wan character's robe for a limited series.
Who is it, Calvin?
Set to premiere
just said.
No,
on
no, but
Disney
who is
Plus.
it?
What's his name?
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
No other details are available, although fans expect to learn more at Disney's D23.
Yeah. So
Hello there.
the thing is about this, like I've heard rumors, last 5 years, ever since they started doing Rogue One, that hey, Obi-Wan, they're gonna do an Obi-Wan series with Ewan McGregor.
Now, is it a series or is it a movie?
Now it was
A movie.
It was
It
a
was a
movie.
movie.
They had a scriptwriter. There was a lot of rumors about directors. And then once Solo didn't perform very well, it is now switched to a series on
their
Disney
streaming
Plus
service. Okay.
with Ewan McGregor. And I've heard that Ewan McGregor is going to be directing episodes of it as well. I'm like, that's fucking awesome because he's had some great stuff. Like I haven't seen Fargo, but he was on Fargo on television.
Yeah, I heard it was
And-
amazing.
And he's got some really interesting like projects coming up. But I'm so happy that we're getting like Ewan McGregor, and my head just fills with possibilities. I don't want to kind of don't want to explore them sometimes.
Yeah.
So I can just let them tell me a story,
Well, that's the issue. I know we've had different times in like Arrowverse stuff where we speculate,
Yeah.
man, that's a great idea. That's what it's
Sure,
going to be.
yeah.
And then it doesn't do any of that. And then we're
Yeah.
kind of like, damn, I wish I would have done what I thought they were going to do,
Sure.
But I'm excited for that idea. I don't want to get my hopes up in case for some reason they say it's not true or something, something happens.
This would have crushed me.
You know what I mean?
It really would.
Because that's
Like-
what out of anything with Obi-Wan, like I'd love Ewan McGregor to reprise his role. I'm very curious on what they could do. But I also would really like a Jedi Apprentice story back in the day and make it like animated, and then Ewan McGregor or Arnold Taylor redoes the.
You can tell some great stories with him and Qui-Gon Jinn early on.
Yeah,
like
that'd be
Rick
great.
and Aaron. I mean, I don't know if you did, but Rick and I, we read the Jedi Apprentice books.
Yeah, it's actually some of the few books I've read.
Jude Watson. Fucking, they're all real good. But yeah, just like an old, bitter, disillusioned Obi-Wan on Tatooine, thinking about the sins of Anakin and.
Yeah, and
Could be some good stuff,
The
man.
actual lore and story excites me, but honestly, what really excites me is like, Ewan has been fielding this question since episode 3, 2005. Like, hey, when are you gonna come back as Obi-Wan? And he'd be like, if they want, yeah, like, what does that guy when he goes back is like? Okay, now I'm closer to Alec Guinness because he studied Alec Guinness a lot with his performance. You can really watch episodes 1 to 3 and see a change, but he never got like he got 20 years away from Alec Guinness,
Yeah.
Now he's going to be like 10 or something. I don't know exactly.
Depends
You
on
think
the time
40
frame.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like, what choices does he make, like, as an actor? Especially if he's going to be doing some direction and stuff like that. Like, that's as much as, like, exciting for me as just new Star Wars lore about one of my favorite characters.
Sure.
You know?
No, yeah, for real.
Absolutely.
And I would love more, like,
You know-
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan stories.
fuck
I would
yeah.
love that.
I mean, yeah.
But,
Yes.
like, even if it was just, James Arnold Taylor, which I don't want to insult the man by saying just, because I love James Arnold Taylor
I
playing
love
Obi-Wan.
it so
Yeah.
much.
He's so good. Like, he is a,
Anakin, control your insolence.
yeah. I have more hours with James Arnold Taylor than I do in McGregor.
That's true. Yeah.
So even though I would love that, and I would also probably more love seeing Ewan McGregor do something.
You
with
know
it,
who also has expressed a strong desire to come back was Joel Edgerton,
Okay.
who played Uncle Uncle Owen.
Yeah, Uncle Owen.
And that
in
guy's
the prequels.
In the prequels, yeah, he went on, and that guy went on to be a prominent actor.
Very prominent.
He
yeah.
played in like the Brothers movie with him versus Tom Hardy. They're fighting each other. He played a movie with Jason Bateman where he's like stalking his family.
Mhm.
He's been in some great freaking stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, "Yeah, I'll bring him back, man. You tell interesting stories of that."
Warrior.
Warrior. Yeah, it's called Warrior.
It'd
Yeah.
be cool if they brought
It's one
back
of the
like.
Bob's favorites.
Imagine him and Ewan McGregor on screen together.
Sure.
Gosh.
It'd be cool if you brought back like some things from episode 3.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been so long now. Like when did episode 3 come out?
2005.
May 19th, 2005.
So I mean, it's been over 10 years. So you're kind of getting closer to like depending on when you put it in that gap, you can
Yeah.
make it fit.
Yeah, I agree. There's been so much like awesome fan art of like what he would look like. Like it's like half Ewan and half Alec. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things. I think
Grieve
they could do.
Atronus.
I'm not a fan of the Jedi, but Kenobi's still an awesome character.
I love Grieve.
I know
Yeah.
exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah. I get you.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm also not one of those guys that's like, no, we should say too, like, Rick and Calvin haven't seen all of Star Wars,
Yeah.
So
No.
we're not going to go too far in terms of like speculating.
They're
stuff.
missing most of the animated
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Rick's missing the end movies.
Sure.
Like,
So we don't want to go too far into some things, but like, I'm not one of those guys that's like, Obi-Wan cannot leave Tatooine. It can't happen, Like
George let him leave
yeah, I know. I mean, the dude can leave
for Jude Watson.
Yes, like the dude can leave Tatooine. He just needs to make sure he's his primary thing is guarding Luke.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean like 24/7 surveillance.
Well, maybe like
The
guarding
thing-
Luke makes him leave Tatooine.
Well, yeah, the thing you
You
got to
know?
look at is like, okay, here's what we said in episode 4, and here's what was said in episode 3.
Mhm.
We got to make sure we don't contradict, the storyline that we have.
Yeah.
But we also want to tell an interesting story in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope, and as long as they get announced, and I'm happy, I think that it'd be good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed Solo. I know a lot of
I-
people that were kind of against Solo, but I enjoyed Solo. a
I
lot.
enjoyed so. I hope there's a crossover between Obi-Wan and Mandalorian at some point.
Well, I know
Well, Mandalorian's taking place.
Donald Glover was hoping to continue
after
that
6?
character. Like there was talks about Donald Glover and whatever her name is, Amelia,
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark, whoever she played, like them having their own spinoff as well. Yeah.
I mean, and it's not impossible, because they had plans for more of that, like underworld single movie things, and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was going to be that.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing saying that we might not get, a Han Solo movie.
I
again.
wouldn't mind them-
I loved that Solo movie.
I wouldn't be
Oh, yeah.
against the idea of going into like a TV series version
Yeah.
of like Solo or
Get what,
tell it-
Aaron, what's his name? Earhart, something.
Eckhart.
Aaron Eckert, something.
No, that's not right, is it?
No, that's the guy.
No,
who
That's the other guy.
plays-
That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I don't remember what his name.
Alan
is.
Aldrich.
Aldrich,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, he was good, man.
Talking
Alden,
about Solo?
yeah.
Yeah,
Alden Aldrich or some shit.
Alden. Alden. was
Alden
his
Aldrich.
name.
Alden.
Yeah, I'm
Alden.
thinking of the dude that plays motherfucking Two-Face and Dark Knight.
Yeah. Well, whenever you said it, I was like Eckhart. That's
Yeah.
the first thing I thought of, and I was like,
Alden
Alden
Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich.
My
Yeah.
friend's boyfriend, she's trying to get him to watch. He's not spoiled by Star Wars or anything.
Sure.
I was trying to tell her you got to get him to watch 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, and then 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And she's just
Rogue One.
She's
4, 5, 6. I think you should go that way.
you could, but going
Yeah,
from
that would be
Rogue
really
One
good.
to 4, like, because her problem is, like, his problem is like he can't
doesn't like
appreciate
old
old
movies.
cinema.
Oh,
But I feel like they've
okay.
aged so well. I really think they've aged well.
So
Like,
you
I
I
don't
don't think Rogue One is a good intro
So
to
you-
Vader.
No.
no,
Oh, it makes him
especially
not-
when
it
you
makes
just see
him
him.
scarier.
No, it does, but I don't think it's a good. His first scene is like, oh fuck, it's Vader. But instead, you're like, oh, who's this motherfucker?
Yeah,
Stan having a good shadow. you
I
know?
don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
I'd have to rewatch it and be like, okay, if I've never seen Vader before, what
Yeah.
do I think of him in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he's still, he
Because
has that
like
whole like choking thing and stuff. You're
Yeah.
like, oh man, what's going on?
Honestly, you know what? I would just need to have someone do it, an experiment, and say what they thought.
She was
Yeah.
suggesting just watch 7 and 8 because you kind of hear about the old ones, but
Yeah.
it's not so important. And then watch 9,
Yeah.
or watch 7 and 8, and then get them to love those, and then go back watch 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, and then watch 9 when it comes out.
Yeah.
Which it's a real crazy order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, the Obi-Wan thing, like, I'm super excited by it. I know that we have the Cassian Andor series that's going to be still, they announced that a long time ago. Mandalorian, of course.
Oh, Mandalorian.
Bring back Clone Wars. We now know that Resistance is in its final season. And generally when that happens, like, as they're wrapping up something, they kind of announce, like, the next animated thing, So that's probably going to be coming up. And I wonder if that'll go to Disney Plus or not,
We have Resistance and Clone Wars coming Like
Yeah.
Resistance comes out this fall,
Yeah.
and then Clone Wars is coming.
Not
I don't know
for a
exactly
while, yeah.
when, but
But we're not going to be caught up when it does.
well, you guys probably
We'll see.
know.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're gonna fucking do it.
the service starts up in November, but I
Yeah.
don't know when Clone Wars will start itself. You know.
I mean, if for some reason you guys like aren't going to be cut for 2 weeks, we're going to do it, and we're going to be 2 weeks ahead of you the
Yeah.
entire season.
And then we're gonna do it again with you.
And then we'll do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and the worst thing that could have happened was they're doing an Obi-Wan series and not have Ewan McGregor.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know,
That would have been very.
That's me like
disappointing
Spider-Man,
for-
and it's not Tom Holland. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
no, thank you. You know,
Yeah.
just to a much higher degree.
Yeah. Quibbler said that Rosario Dawson flat out said that she wanted to play Ahsoka.
That would be interesting. And she's a
She
great
did
actress.
say that,
Yeah,
dude.
she's a
And
great
I tell you
actress.
what,
But we don't want
she's a great everything.
We don't want to talk about the
Yeah.
character too much,
Right.
So we'll probably not
All that I
go
know
through
is
that.
from what
Yeah.
we've watched on Clone Wars.
I understand. So, but yeah, I mean, like, you know, with the Obi-Wan thing, like, you know, I saw people joke this week about like, you know, we got Ewan McGregor back, but we lost Tom Holland. A soul for a soul.
I've seen the Soul for Soul memes.
Yeah, those are funny.
They're so funny. Taking
Yeah.
a battery
Uh-huh.
out of the controller and putting it in your Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Soul for a soul. Like your TV remote.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now you can't change the volume,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you can play your game.
Dude, I took so many batteries like from my those controllers from my Game Boy that my dad like he welded it shut. He took like a metal band and welded it so you couldn't do it. And then he metal chained it to like his chair so he couldn't lose the remote too.
Yeah.
Because he's like he just keeps taking them.
I had a friend I work with who, she has a vibrator, and she went to her living room and took the batteries out of the TV controller
Mhm.
and put them in her vibrator. Went to work, came back. The vibrator was on her bed, just open, and her dad was watching TV. Her dad was watching fucking TV, and he was just like smoking, and just didn't, and just
nothing happened.
like nothing fucking happened.
No.
God,
no.
that
Maybe he didn't know what it was.
That
What,
motherfucker
Calvin?
knows. I know
Calvin,
the guy.
You fucking
some people that don't
homeschooled
know.
fucking Calvin.
Yeah.
There is some people
Maybe he
that do
didn't
not know.
Yeah, they're 3-year-olds.
I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
This man knew. Trust me. I knew it.
Okay.
Because I sold cars. He's my boss. All right.
Dude, like we're the last generation that remember things before the internet. Like before the internet, like we had to have porn. You had to find it. You had to get it.
In the woods.
You had to
And most importantly, you had to hide it.
Yeah, right.
I remember.
I was gonna say one of my stories that makes me cringe the most I've ever cringed in my life, and I've lost my mother. I miss her, but one time I left my porn on my bed before school. I left it there, and I don't think I realized it until like 2 hours before I had to go back home. Like I had
Oh no.
okay. I get home. I rush to my room. First thing, drop my book bag. Rush, and it's gone. And it's in my hiding spot.
That's even worse.
That's so much worse. That means not only did she see it, she knows where I keep it. I said nothing. I love the woman. She's such a great mom. I remember being like, I'm not gonna come out for the rest of the year. I'm just gonna stay here.
How'd you get that? How'd you get it? From your brother?
What?
I don't remember.
I imagine
Somebody at
Honestly.
school, maybe.
Like it was one of those things where like you have this magazine for 4 years because you can't get any more. You know?
Yeah, right. I imagine her thought process of being like, oh my god, I can't leave this here.
Yeah.
Someone could find it. I can't let
know.
someone come over and see this.
Yep.
I better put it
I don't
away.
want to take it away from him.
Maybe he'll forget that he left it on the bed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So where was your hiding spot?
In my
in a
closet, under like these boxes that had all of my micro machines in it, which is heavy as fuck. You had to be like,
Can you imagine your mom picking it up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little Eric's like, I'm fucking horny. Give me this.
I
It'd
know.
be terrible if she had to like ask your brother or your dad into the room to help lift it so she could
I
slide
don't
it.
think, I don't think that.
You know, I remember one of my hiding spots was I had like shelves like these, and on the very bottom there was one, and it wasn't actually like nailed in. It was like
Yeah.
loose, so you could lift it up. So I had like stuff sitting on the shelf, of course, but I would lift it up, reach under, and pull out stuff, and that's where I would hide like things.
I never had one I personally had. I just rememrember
Because you lived in a trailer outside.
That was later on. It was a camper.
A
It was not-
camper.
no,
Everything was your hiding space.
No, for me, there was underneath. I can't remember. I think I found my brother's first. Pretty sure it was my brother's first. And they were underneath the mattress, and I was like taking the mattress off, sliding on it like a slide in my room with my action figures. I remember putting it back and just seeing it like, what the fuck is this? I remember flipping through the
Your eyes are
pages.
so funny right now.
Well, because I remember, like,
Yeah,
I still
no.
remember what I felt like. I was just like, what the
God.
fuck?
Yeah, it's
You know?
like it's
And
like
I believed
opening
in God.
a 1,000-year-old
Had to-
book, and it's like, and you're just aging.
It's like when Moses came down the mountain.
Yeah.
That's. Oh my gosh.
I don't
my
think it's
gosh.
quite like that.
Yeah.
Well, it was like that back in the day when you can't just get it. Kids can just get whatever they want. They can watch the nastiest shit
Unappreciative fucks.
accidentally.
And then
you
my
know?
dad. I found my dad's. They were on his side of the bed, underneath the
Yeah.
bed, neatly stacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was telling my cousin if he's still watching. I found him. He's like, "Well, bring him over, man."
Yep.
He's bring those magazines. Yeah. I said no. He's like, "You didn't find them."
Yep.
I just was so scared. And I
he,
lived.
he counts them. He knows exactly how many are there.
I lived out there with crappy internet, so
Yeah.
I like never like looked shit up because I was so scared. Like, what if it just computer froze or something? My computer was in my kitchen. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really looked anything up until like I didn't start looking up like porn until I was like 17 or 18. I
Yeah.
lived in the 3rd Street house, and I didn't do it very often then because Cody
People
he got
around.
caught.
Yeah.
We walked in and then he was about to start. He's oh come on guys, I'll do it later. And by then you're like okay, I don't care, you
Yeah.
know. It wasn't like, oh my God, I caught you, because everyone, you know, is at the age where you just kind of like, yeah, we all
Yeah.
jack off here.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just
Yeah.
don't be an asshole to make fun of me, you know?
The first one I remember was it was a Playboy, and the only thing I remember was a Playboy. It was like a Christmas issue, had Denise Richards in it.
Yeah.
Really? That's not a bad issue to start on.
No, it's the first one I can remember. Like
Did you get to
before a computer or
Did
anything.
you get that
or-
episode of Friends with her in it?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've done that.
Feels so good.
My grandfather had a like Playboy calendar in his garage.
Oh.
And it was like decades
Yeah.
old, and it
Every
was just always
garage
there.
had a calendar. Like
Yeah.
my dad's
Yeah,
garage.
our
and my
neighbor-
dad doesn't do that kind of shit.
Yeah,
It
our-
was like respectable women in jeans, but it was still like Playboy. You know? It was
Actually,
weird.
that might have been the first, is our friend we grew up with,
Yeah.
his grandpa lived next door to me. And right when you open the door in the garage, there's a calendar there.
It's a
And
calendar.
it was there for years. It's
Yeah.
so yellow. And I remember one
Yeah.
day we were like 12. We crawled up there and started looking through
Yeah.
them all like, oh my God, there's more women.
Yeah, there would be like 10 calendars. They just put a new one up and leave the old one.
Yeah, I'm like, it's
But
not 19. It was like
Every garage
1986.
I went to, like in the mid
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah, I'm
or
pretty sure it was
early
89.
90s.
And then I was like, 93, 94, 95 is when I
Sure.
started seeing this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't.
it just existed there until I realized what it was.
When God created the earth, that calendar was there.
You guys talking about calendars? I remember I had a it was what FHM calendar one time,
FHM.
like For Him magazine or whatever, right?
Oh, like Maxim.
I guess.
Yeah.
But the only thing I remember about this calendar, I hid it, but it was like a swimsuit kind of thing, and
Yeah.
it had Morgan Webb in it.
Morgan
Oh,
Webb.
from
Yeah.
G4 TV.
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember having that
Dude,
for a
yeah,
long
she was
time.
sexy. Yeah.
I had a Maxim with Erica Durance
Yeah.
before I ever saw Smallville.
Oh, really?
And I remember being like, I gotta watch Smallville. And I did.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Damn.
Years before.
I thought Mo got you started on it.
Yeah, but that was the Durance, Erica Durance Maxim thing I had a long time before that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't want to talk about it. The things that happen.
Please don't talk about it.
Listen. No. But that's just like those kind of things, like those like the hiding spots and the like you can't believe this is coming to your possession. Like
Yeah.
that's just gone.
Yeah, right.
That's
like
gone.
it's just the internet now.
I know.
Now it's
Now
like
you have your own tablet and
Yeah.
it has
yeah.
everything on
You
there.
either have that or you have like, I mean, if you have a computer, you have like a secret folder
Yeah.
you hid somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
Like back in the day, like you had what you got, and if you didn't like what you got, you just dealt with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
it-
just whatever. All right.
Actually,
that like put me down paths for preferences of women.
Yeah.
Because of lack of option of magazine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it
Like you have a cousin, he's like, oh, I got a Hustler. And you're not gonna
like-
be like, I don't want Hustler, man.
like the women I liked were the kind that like my cousin made me like. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of funny. Yeah.
Yep.
Calvin, did you have a hiding spot?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
That's
have
a fun
internet or TV
Good story.
or friends from school.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got mine. I just acquired it. I had a hiding spot.
Yeah.
Everyone has to have a hiding spot for something. Rick probably had a hiding spot, right?
Oh my God! I just
think
remember
so.
this.
You
I
didn't
think-
have a hiding spot
I think
of
I had-
anything? Damn.
I wasn't super interested in that kind of stuff.
I just remembered this actually. I had a magazine I think I got from this kid from the bus.
That's a
'Cause
good place to get stuff.
Okay, and then I was young. Like, it was
Yeah.
after I discovered my brother's, but I don't think I discovered my dad's yet. And I was underneath a blanket in my room looking at it. And then I just remember my sister ripping off the covers, looking at me, and just fucking punching me in the face. Hard. And I just like, go back on the bed like that, you know? And then she took the magazine. I never heard about it again from her or my parents or anything.
Yep. It's just gone.
Yeah, did you ever have that kid who like had like supposedly the new magazines in the back of the bus?
Yep.
The new magazine.
The nude magazine. He's got
Oh, the
nudies back
yeah,
there.
the new.
Because you'd have like, for me, I was a little country boy. When I go to town,
Little.
littler. But when I go to town and hang with the city kids, like there was a kid that would just walk in to People's News. He'd just walk in, bold as brass, grab the ones that are like in the sealed plastic,
with like
rip it off, and just start looking. And then some days he just go grab it, rip it off, put it down here, and walk out.
Jesus.
You know, and we were like, wow, you know,
Yeah.
he's like the one.
Wait, just some kid would do that?
Yeah, some kid would just do that.
No
I don't
one-
even know who he was.
no one
He was a
stopped him?
friend of my cousin's that lived over in Norwood.
Well, that's
No-
why.
He's a cousin that me and this cousin were gonna build a tree fort, and we started like 50 times and never finished.
Do you guys remember the magazines that they would have, and there'd be
Nope.
like the plastic thing, and it'd be like a, you know, like a
Yeah.
bunny or whatever
Yep.
over like the main part of it?
It's like a beacon of light shining.
My
like,
sister,
right here.
my sister used to work at People's News,
Yeah.
and she'd always talk about like people would just come in, like, and they'd be like, oh, God damn it, girls
Andrew.
working here, you know, like, you know, if it's a guy working there, you'd be like, give me this, you pay for it. But a girl would be working there, you'd be like. Like a shave, like wearing a hat and like a jacket up, you know. Like, fine.
like pulled over your
Yeah.
face.
There's a guy you work with who talked about People's News porno, right?
I don't remember.
Papa
honestly.
John's?
I don't remember.
People's News, they got porno magazines there. I remember you telling me a story like that.
I don't remember honestly.
It's
Yeah.
a guy who got too many tickets and he had to
Yeah.
quit driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
That's
man.
it?
Yep. Yep.
And you talking
Good
about
times.
You talking about the bus? Reminded me of Rick. Did you? I think we were on our way to, what was it, Cleveland, the Science Center. Did you go to that? You went to that, didn't you?
Kosai?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we stayed the night at the Science Center.
No,
You didn't go to that one.
I didn't.
I'm pretty sure it was for that. We were on a bus ride to somewhere on the highway, right? You know, 2 lanes. I remember at some point as we were driving, people were like, "Fucking look!" And there's a car driving by because you can just look down, and there's a guy driving, and the girl just with a head in the lap,
Yep.
and everyone's like, "What? Look at that! Look!
Yep.
Look!" We're all fucking like 6th graders or some shit, being like, "Look at
Bus was a magical place, man.
The
First pair of boobs I saw was on the bus, and I was lucky because she was showing it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's happening?" She's
You
like,
got in on the
and
glory.
she's like, "You can see too." I'm like, "Oh, I'm so glad I sit next to this guy."
Dad drafted off so many people when I was
Right?
younger.
Drift off them, like
Yeah.
let them like take the brunt of the air and
Yeah.
go behind them.
So I drafted because I was behind him.
Drafted,
Then I went
yeah.
ahead and went
Drafted.
above. Then I went around him.
At the last second.
The last couple years, one
Oh,
round.
the bus.
most sexual thing I can remember is WWF during the Attitude Era with like
Yeah.
the bra and panties matches and things.
Yeah. And you were like,
It
"This
was
is
a weird
ridiculous. This
time.
is ridiculous. Get back to the main event."
I want to see more Shawn Michaels.
Oh
Rick's
man,
like, "Woo!"
what are we doing? Come on now.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's funny. Yep.
I had a.
well,
I had a.
yeah.
Okay, so I had a-
Obi-Wan looks great.
well, have you guys my friend? He was looking at Final Fantasy fucking anime porn
Oh,
in his basement,
Yep.
and in his basement, he shared it with like a family room. There was just like a curtain in the middle of his basement.
Mhm.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
okay.
Okay, and then he was looking at it before school.
Yep.
And then his mom just opened the fucking curtain, and he was there in the middle of what he was doing, and she just screams, and she's got a British accent, you know, and she's oh no, said his name in a British accent way, and he goes fuck, and he's sitting there telling us the story.
It's funny because I know exactly what you're talking about. and
he
it's
just
so
starts,
much funnier. To
fuck! He
Yeah.
just screams it, and he's telling the story in first period, like he doesn't care because
Yeah.
everyone's laughing. The teacher's sitting there listening.
Wait,
He's like,
the teacher's listening.
yeah, he was our basketball coach actually, and he was like, "You're a fucking idiot, man." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just never forget that, dude. I used to put a dumbbell in front of my door, like 4 inches in front of my door. So
Yeah.
my dad would always open the door. It's funny. My dad would always sneak up and open the door. And he
Try to
did.
get you red-handed.
Yeah, he did. He tried.
That's why
and,
whips open doors.
and then he'd hit the dumbbell and he'd stop. You know what I mean? Because I think once you do that, you hit it like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my trick. Yeah.
Wow. if we're ready to move on,
I don't know, but okay.
All right.
I've got some memes. One of these is kind of related.
Okay.
I thought was pretty funny. It's a picture of Homer kicking in, there's Shane and then Eric naked.
I love
Just make sure you
Bart
call
there.
Bard's face.
Yeah. Looks like he's being choked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really funny. That's a story from another podcast that you guys will have to go back through all the 80-some find it.
Yeah, find it.
86 now,
Yeah.
right?
Then I've
I
got
don't know. It was 83 on WaveCon. So I think it was 85.
Was it is it 85?
It was 83. We
'Cause
did
there
one
was-
in 84 and
there's-
85.
Confusion.
There was.
That's the only reason I know that number.
Yep.
and then I have 3 memes that are just random.
3 memes.
Or sorry, 3 videos
Oh, videos.
Okay.
that are kind of random, but
Is that Shane?
That's Shane.
Oh, I can't wait. It's the
Oh
ice
my
bucket
gosh.
challenge.
I have it muted.
Oh, it's muted.
Apologies.
Oh my gosh.
And also,
Oh, I can't wait to see what you evolve into.
Shane's evolving into what?
I can't wait.
You know,
Oh, please. Let us see.
as long as I bench, squat, and deadlift more in my next form.
Yeah, that's what you say. But I want to watch this. Shane is evolving. There he goes.
Oh, he's evolving.
What will we? Congratulations? Question mark.
Very nice.
Funny.
so good.
Very
That's
nice.
funny.
I like
That's
the
very good.
question mark on that. That's good.
Congratulations.
so that was for those listening to the audio podcast. Shane going from the Ice Bucket Challenge to the WaveCon
Challenge.
Challenge.
Which is not the worst. It is not the worst within that time.
Yeah.
It is not the worst.
No.
I love that one video where you're like, "Look at me." Like it's a compilation of like you like
Look at me.
look at me.
Yeah.
Couldn't use me now, could you?
While watching the compilation, he's saying, "Look at me."
Yeah.
While we watch him watch him.
Yeah.
Look at me.
So I haven't screened this one, so hopefully it's okay.
Okay.
But this is Calvin in Mario Maker.
Oh,
Okay.
yay.
Berkey.
Yeah, Berkey's had some good videos.
It's frozen, Rick. It's frozen, Rick. It's frozen, Rick.
But it can't be.
It stopped being
It can't
frozen.
be.
Stop being frozen, Rick.
It's yeah.
Okay.
We gotta fix this.
We do.
Every week I
We need
forget.
air. Yeah, we need Toy Wash.
I keep
to come in
forgetting about
here
it until it
and
happens.
save us like he saved us.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
With
need
the
another. We
switcher.
need another HDMI switch.
It takes off. It's Shooting Star.
No, shooting star.
How the hell are you doing?
You've never seen the Shooting Star meme.
No.
Are you doing this?
He's jumping in the air like this.
Oh, it's so good.
Video ends.
What a papa!
That's so funny. I love that gif of you like. So good.
Then I have one more.
So you never seen the Shooting Star meme?
I don't know what that is.
It's-
Wait, is it on the internet?
Yes.
No.
Oh, then I
It's in
don't
our
It's
hearts.
also on your phone.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's from. You'll see it like next year because it's from like 9 years ago. No.
So
Look at this.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke.
It is a good joke.
so
Holds up.
The next one I have, the final one, is from Cobb.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's 8.5 minutes long.
It's
Okay.
a
We
We
long
can stop
time.
early if we need to, but
Okay.
I've heard that this is his best work.
Oh,
All right.
that's a high
I don't
bar.
know the subject. We
That
got
is a-
15 minutes left.
You've heard it's his best work?
Yes.
That is a very high bar.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking, I shouldn't have read that.
Shade. Do you happen to know what day it is?
God damn it.
Thursday.
No.
Eric?
I remember this.
Yeah.
Slap a Baldy.
When did we say this?
I remember
It was
we
a
did it.
while ago.
Yeah. Slap a Baldy.
Is that it?
Scottish Michael, a slap.
God
Calvin.
damn
that's
it.
not it.
Karen.
This is from a while
Right to
ago.
have.
Who did this?
The Scottish Michael.
All right.
To have the bald weasel slapped.
Remind me to unmark someone later.
Yeah, I will. Still
All right.
We have a
no,
slap.
no more idle threats.
Let's see. 7 days ago, this one is the Scottish Michael Shane.
Look at that
Slap
angle, Rick.
Aaron team just got beat.
Aaron's trying to fix
so
it.
Slap a
Yeah.
Baldy and cheer me up.
Switch the camera, Rick.
This is 7 days ago. His team got beat.
Well, it's not my fault.
No.
It's a good
6
jersey
months ago.
right there.
Yeah, I guess his team got beat. He wants to cheer it up, so
Good.
why don't you slap Aaron?
Like the Rams or what?
Hope they get beat again.
I mean, it could be a soccer
How's it
team.
my fault? He's wearing. What are you doing? Oh, that you make me lose hair.
No, it's not.
Can't risk that.
God damn it.
Just slap me. Oh, you like held me so I couldn't move back.
I didn't hit you that
That's
hard.
great.
All right.
You know what's cool? Our table's in the
Slap
same exact
from
position as
the
that.
Yeah.
Scottish Michael. Rick, slap Aaron.
I knew it.
Thursday is Slap a Baldy Day.
Savage, man. The savage from Scotland.
I gotta unmod him at some point or something. I don't know. Leave him.
Nope.
Aaron, I can't even approve it. It's going to be there every week. Look. Okay, it worked.
Rick, don't hit my mic.
That one?
Don't hit my mic.
Okay.
Don't hit my mic.
What?
Don't hit my mic.
I'll hit it in your face.
No. What?
Matt.
No.
Quit. What are you
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Slap him.
doing? What? I get slapped too?
Yes.
Slap the shit out of him.
Just don't hit my mic.
I'm like,
Oh,
There we go.
We have some slaps.
I mean,
Slap.
There's like 8.5 minutes.
8
of
minutes
this.
of this. This
So,
is great.
Aaron,
I don't know
It's
if
just
we
me
want to watch
getting
all this.
slapped.
I love it.
Slap the
I
ball.
love it.
This can't be every time I gotten slapped,
of a savage.
right?
They'd probably
Every
stick
every
around.
time
You
by
need to tone down your savageness.
by Mick or someone slap a baldy day.
It's coming soon. Oh, it's because Mick is the slap a baldy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I can only use my wrist.
It's not every slap. It's every.
It's every Mick slap a baldy
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, that's like
slap.
Kill Bill.
I think he tried to overcompensate since he only had his wrist. Rick is the most brutal slapper.
Maggie is the most brutal slapper.
Yeah.
Slap
Yeah.
Scottish Michael.
She shouldn't be here anymore
Slap
on
Aaron.
Thursdays.
Thursday. You know what time it is.
Aaron,
Slap Baldy.
you've gotten to your thing. We're like,
The Scottish Michael.
Ow!
Calvin, slap Aaron. It's Thursday. You know what time it is. Slap a Baldy.
You can have slap a wave rider whenever there's WaveCon. It's a good idea. Don't get close. Wow. This is the same side Eric and me.
There's only one slap.
and he got in trouble for running his business in prison.
There's only one slap removed.
he's not unoriginal.
Yes.
Slap Aaron.
Look at your
Thursday.
face, Aaron. Look
What
at it.
time
You look like you
is.
just came out of Peaky Blinders.
Baldy day.
It's gotta be a good slap because there's only one.
What? No, there's more coming.
No, he said there's only one.
Calvin, don't listen.
Don't listen.
Hey, put it on. I'll give you
He's like always moving his rings around and shit.
Yeah.
He has to watch Shazam tonight. He doesn't have the normal recovery
No, why are you
time.
going so far back? Watch my ear. What are you doing?
Delayed as
intimate
well.
slap.
All right. Yeah. I think it's good. I get it. I'm gonna have to go watch
Yeah.
that on my
I
own.
need
Yeah.
to watch it
See
too.
if there's anything special at the end.
Not for me, Aaron.
Doesn't look
Give you a
like
high
it.
five.
Yep. Just
All
slaps
right,
and
we have a
baldies.
slap.
Well, thank
from
you,
the
Cobb,
Scottish Mi-
Cobb, you're
for
awesome.
the lovely memories.
Yep. Very
that's-
cool.
That's great.
I wish I could get a video tattooed on me somehow.
That intro was amazing. I love that. I love that so much.
Aaron.
NP Blue says it's funny because in the UK, a slapper means slut.
Huh.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna slap
Well,
it up in here.
Slang for
I am-
hoe.
I am a slappy.
So saying no to Maggie being a brutal slapper.
Brutal slut. I can say that she's my sister.
You're a slappy. What does that mean?
I do the slapping.
Oh,
Oh.
I thought you meant you get sluts.
Speaking of Maggie, so someone asked this earlier in chat. I made a note of it. So Maggie and I are watching Fruits Basket.
Yep.
And Chris Fizz said, "I'm watching Fruits Basket. I need a confirmation. Aaron, did you help Rick to the bathroom so he wouldn't get lost when you were kids?" In Fruits Basket, there's a character that gets so lost that another character, like when they were kids in school, had to help him to the bathroom so he didn't get lost.
Okay. Now, while he's thinking about that, I will say that there were times like during these conventions where like we would start separating and you would be like kind of further away, or like someone goes use the bathroom. I always made sure I had a line of sight between Rick and another member. Never like Shane and the rest of the group. It was always Rick and another member. So I could always like slingshot the group together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always tried to be the beacon of Gondor.
Like that. Oh my God. Like, well, never mind. Go ahead.
All right, so are we ready for redemptions? and bits?
Redemption me.
So on and so forth. We have Brendan Anonymally. Blah, blah, blah. Brendan, resubscribe for 11 months. Love from Scotland, boys. I don't get the outrage of the Spider-Man situation. Just keep Tom Holland in the MCU.
Yep.
And instead use the Night Monkey persona.
Ooh. So we have Tom Holland, but he can't call himself Spider-Man.
So
he's
a
Night Monkey.
Yeah,
Nice.
that'd be pretty good.
Hilding97 resubscribed for 6 months. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Andromedus has resubscribed for 2 months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Hilding 97 with 700 bits. Hey, I'm back after missing the previous podcast. Here's some extra bits.
Oh,
Wow,
thank you.
thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very generous. Very.
Top screen with 100 bits.
Thank you,
Thank you, top screen. Very much. Every
Fomarak.
week.
Indeed. Fomarak resubscribed for 11 months.
Thank you, Fomarak.
Thank you, Vomarak. I was swallowing my spit.
Heffron HD 15 bits.
Thank you, Heffron.
Thank you.
Efron.
Thank you.
Gorgon Fish resubscribed for 6 months. So glad you guys are having a fun time with Mob Psycho and can't wait for the return of MHA.
Me either.
Yes, indeed. I agree with all of that.
Probably
Eight.
a new.
I keep my ideas sway. Sorry.
Fruits Basket threw us a curveball because it's season 1 and the intro changed in the middle of the season.
Interesting.
That is
Isn't it
strange.
ridiculous when they do that?
Just threw him a curve.
Usually it changes, but it changes because there's not there's not seasons. I don't know. HRPB LOL resubscribed for 3 months.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Heffron HD cheered 85 bits.
Thank you, Zach Heffron.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Zach Heffron.
I said
Watermelon.
Zac Heffron, yeah.
Watermelon Commando with an A, K-Mando, resubscribed for 7 months.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 7 months.
7 months. The Scottish Michael redeemed a slap, which we will get to later.
Who?
Oh, we'll get to it later. Scott from Scotland resubscribed for 12 months. Finally reached the 1 year mark. It's been a great year. Looking forward to much more exciting content to come. Keep up the great work.
1 year.
Yeah, thank you.
Party. Dance party.
Elbow party.
ZD resubscribed for 12 months. Finally, I'm at 1 year of watching. Keep up the great work, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I was giggling again.
The Headless Gamer cheered 1,000 bits. Thanks for letting me. Huh?
Oh, that was just a lot.
They said, oh.
Oh.
Yeah,
Just read, Rick. Read.
thanks for.
Oh.
Yeah, just thanks.
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Well,
Yep.
you're welcome, I guess.
Alex
are very welcome.
P127 cheered 450 bits. Heading to work. Have a great podcast, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ghost Don't Love Me subscribed.
Oh.
I'm sorry
That's
about
terrible.
They don't love
that. It's very
anybody.
sad.
What do you mean?
They don't exist.
That's not true.
Task Ultron resubscribed for 4 months, saying, "Hey guys."
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you for subbing.
Aaron Spencer subscribed.
That's a good name.
Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you.
Ian 93 resubscribed for 19 months.
Ooh,
Thank you, Ian.
Let's
the
waste
hell?
time
Jurassic
together.
Park. Jurassic Park.
It's all right. Let's waste time together. Resubscribed for 2 months.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's.
Black Hippie 149 cheered 100 bits. I don't know how this works, but I'm having a good time.
Awesome.
Cool.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
And Swagdoor resubscribed for 2 months. Yes, new Berserk chapter today, Rick.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know what that means, but cool.
Thank
like,
you.
Like in the manga?
Yeah, new chapter in the manga.
Damn.
I say they're not doing animated anymore, right?
We don't talk about that. Okay. So, redemptions. We have a few. One of them is a slap. There's 3 slaps, actually. We'll start with the Scottish Michael. Calvin, slap Aaron. Do I really need to say it?
Slap
it's
a
Thursday.
Baldy day.
You know what to do.
Slap a baldy.
Rings on or off?
Just fucking, I don't know.
Oh, he got inspired from earlier. Man, I hope there's one for Calvin from Aaron.
We've been watching our
Night-
slaps look puny, so we gotta up it.
Night Owl Lenny, Shane, slap Aaron.
Oh. All right, well, that was a pretty hard one from Calvin. So do you go lighter or do you go harder or the same or... Oh, my God.
And Light 667, slap whoever.
Someone needs to take that and make him turn to Super Saiyan.
Oh no, he said whoever Aaron wants to.
We're gonna hit your headphones.
I'll take him off. Ah!
No.
Calvin hits you hard.
Oh, there we go. Holy shit.
And that's it.
Richard, slap me. You should get done.
And humongous.
By the rules, yeah, he should get double slapped.
I thought it said whoever wants to slap Aaron.
Oh, you just assumed.
You're just bloodthirsty.
Whoever wants to hit
wrong.
Aaron, just hit Aaron.
There's one more from humongous tuna. Squats, dance for me, bald man.
Squats, Aaron.
What? There's no name.
It says bald man. You're the bald.
I am not admitting to nothing.
Well, then you shouldn't have got slapped earlier. Then.
What?
Slap a
You gotta
baldy
admit
day.
you have a
That's
problem.
a
Imagine
slap
bald
Aaron.
people
And then
having to
someone
admit
call me
they're
that. I'm
bald.
not admitting to being bald.
You what? Just the idea of a bald person having to admit they're bald.
coming out.
Like,
Cobb says,
they're
I
not
can't.
coming out. That's innocent. I mean, this is like a drug problem.
Cobb said, I can't help but feel partly responsible for this.
Man, he's doing good.
I don't have a
You're
remote.
doing good over there. Keep going, yeah. Yeah. Wow, looks great. Oh,
he's
hey, I
not-
don't think you were doing it.
Whoa, infinite.
7.
Nope. That was 3,
Go to 15.
4, 5, 6. Technically, those are lunges.
You're testing the limits of our cameras and their remote turning. What are you doing?
I can't.
You gotta
You got in the way. Dang it, Rick.
Calvin gave
He
up.
did him.
Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us for this edition of the Blind Way Podcast. We're going to be back tomorrow with a video game stream. That's either we don't know what it is or it's a secret. You decide.
Tomorrow?
Yeah,
No, it's the last Mario Maker viewer stream, and then we're probably going to change up.
Okay. It's
So
been
if you got
decided.
levels, let us
So
know.
hurry up and get your levels in so we can try to finish up some more viewer
Also,
levels.
do you have a announcement for the stream Monday?
He already did.
I mean, I said about
WoW
it
and
earlier,
stuff.
but yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to be streaming Monday at 6 p.m. when they open up. So come sit with me, wait in the queue to get in the game.
For Classical WoW.
It's probably what's going to happen. I don't know. We'll
probably
see.
so. All right, thanks, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.